title since it's right there.
Yeah, we haven't yet, but to be honest with you, in my
Cat is
mind,
filling it up.
Different guy.
Different.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
two of them. They're just going back and forth.
I think what domino we needed to fall before we could start having
5. They can't miss from the corner.
what the standings are.
6.
And where we are.
This
in the
guy's a guy.
standings, right? And so
We got to stay longer in house now.
I don't know, Jim. I think maybe it's their old on-campus facility.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
They've converted into a practice arena.
Yeah.
Like, he's done a great job. I think it probably, at least this run, ends tomorrow night. They're probably going to be catching 8.5 in Neville.
Auburn, 8.5-point favorite maybe tomorrow.
I mean, look, you go back last week, they were 6.5 against Alabama. I think you got to throw a little bit in, pull it back a little bit because of the rivalry. Now, South Carolina is the 11th ranked team right now nationally, but I still think that number is going to be about 8.5.
Old Carolina Coliseum, says Ben, old basketball stadium there that they play. It looked pretty cool little stadium. All right, Brownies, 30 years ago.
30 years ago today, something happened.
Calgary Olympics.
That is still video that is played to this day. Lance says he thinks he knows what it is.
Well, no, I got thrown off because I forget. I think the year was was it 99 or 2000 when Dale Earnhardt Jr. passed away in February? I know,
yeah.
so the math was off.
1994 is the year we were talking about. The
Cowboys.
Nope.
Always got to go to O.J.
Yeah, that was in June.
That was in June.
The Cowboys won the Super Bowl, but it was it was back in January then.
Yep. 30 years ago today, legendary Temple basketball coach John Chaney came absolutely unhinged and threatened to kill
John Calipari
in front of the assembled media. Literally threatened to kill him twice. I will kill you. I will kill you.
Well, I remember he got a pretty good suspension. What would happen in today's society?
He's got to get fired. He threatened to kill a guy twice.
But you know he didn't mean
Well, I
it.
know he didn't mean it, but you can't be a college basketball coach telling another coach, I'll kill you.
If I've got a coach, I'm not firing him for that. Are you?
Oh, he didn't get fired.
No, I'm saying today, I think people would fire. I mean, it depends on how good they are.
Like it.
Well, I just remember Calipari being in the room too.
That's who he was yelling at.
Yeah, so he came into the room afterwards.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
To say something to change.
Calipari was up on the podium, and he came in and he said, I'll kill you. He walked off.
He's
So
pissed at
Calipari's on the podium
Calipari.
and Chaney's in the
He was
room.
pissed at Calipari for getting on the officials, and one of Calipari's players got in the face of one of Chaney's players.
Right.
And he told him, next time I'll tell my player to bloody his nose or something along those lines.
If it's Bruce Pearl, I'm not firing him. If it's, let's say, Jerry Stackhouse, he's gone.
He had to be restrained. He was going to absolutely pummel John Calipari. He was that pissed.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, LT. It depends on how good of a job he's doing. At that point in time, I wouldn't have fired either one of them because they were both doing a good job at their school.
Yeah, Calipari, by the way, was at UMass at the time, if you've forgotten. That was a conference game.
They were a power. Temple was a power. I remember when Temple was a 1 seed with Mark Macon way back in the day.
Chaney could flat coach.
He could.
And Cal was on the ascension. It's amazing that Scott is showing you video. I don't even know if we can play the audio, but Scott is showing you video from WCCB TV in Springfield.
Full circle. Pete Davidson at the Comedy Club Stardome on Thursday night. He's got the same eyes as John Chaney.
Yeah, John Chaney had those deep-set eyes.
Dark eyes.
Dark eyes. So, yeah, I mean, Chaney has to be restrained or he's coming after Calipari.
Calipari was going after him, though, too. Younger Calipari.
He would have gotten slaughtered. Chaney was so pissed.
No, but Chaney, I mean, he looked very fragile and brittle back then.
Yeah. And Calipari was much younger than Don Chaney was at that point. How excited was the photographer in US 40?
Oh, man, he shot it great, too. Look at him. Keeps it in frame the whole time.
Event staff got involved.
He had to call him up. He had to call the station.
Boys, do I have some video for you.
Man. Hey, guys, we've got it right here.
Yeah, we need to feed some video quickly.
Hey, I've got this. Hey, we're back with you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Time. Bama and Bourbon later this week. We'll have one out with Aaron Suttles later this week. Set your alerts. Remember, like, subscribe, thumbs up. At Next Round Live everywhere on any social media platform. If you watch us and you're not subscribed or liking us or following us on some platform, do it. Help us out. Let's get up to the highest number we possibly can in subscriptions and followers and all that. Go take time to do that over the course of this week at Next Round Live. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
We literally could start every show this time of year with upsets in college basketball. We'll get to that and set the table for another huge Auburn basketball game at home tonight, coming up a little bit later on in this segment. But a lot of college football to get to today throughout the show, including our man Josh Pate, who will join us at 10 a.m. Central Time to start hour number 2. Aaron Estrada, Alabama player, guard, will be on the show live with us starting hour 3 at 11 a.m. Central. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, Rockstar, Forrester, Lunsford, Tyler, E.G., Taylor, everyone, including Reed and Kelsey, everybody here today rocking and rolling, ready to go live today. College football discussion. Yesterday, ESPN dropped their way too early top 25 again. This after everything that happened with Alabama and the transfer portal. You know, the first time it came out was after Nick Saban's retirement, and they didn't drop that much.
Boy, they dropped.
Yeah, let's take a look at it, LT. Rockstar, let's look at the top 10. Who's number 1? Number 1, oh, we know that logo. That's the Georgia Bulldogs sliding in there at number 1. Number 2, usually you get Alabama right here. Let's see who's next. Oh, there's Ohio State.
That's the right call, I think.
Yeah, there is no surprise there at all.
Yep.
No surprise
I'm good
there.
so far.
Okay, number 3, is this where we get Alabama? Nope, there's Oregon.
Yeah, you got to win a big game to be at number 3.
Yeah, it feels a bit high for Oregon.
Very
to me.
high.
Yeah.
Dylan Gabriel is there.
Yeah.
I mean, but is Dylan Gabriel, as much as I like him, and I like him more than Bo Nix, he's
not an upgrade.
Yeah, I don't think he's an upgrade
No,
either.
at best, he's...
Yeah, I mean, if he can put up Bo's numbers, that would be incredible.
So SEC, Big Ten, feels like another SEC team. Is this Alabama? Oh, it is an SEC team, but it's
That's
Texas.
true, yeah.
Again, I would say Texas has got to win a big game to get there. They were able to get there without winning a big game this year. But, I mean, that feels about right.
Yeah.
I think they've got the talent to be in the top 4. Do I think they're going to do anything special? Probably not.
Good roster. Okay, 5 has to be Alabama then. Here's that Notre Dame in the way too early. I don't know about this now. This seems like such a reach.
Quite high.
Yeah,
for Notre
very
Dame.
high.
Yeah.
I thought the 10 wins were kind of a sneaky 10-win team this year, and they have downgraded at quarterback. I like Riley Leonard, but he's not Sam Hartman.
Yeah, number 6 then. Here's Alabama that slides in now at Rockstar.
Well, speaking of way too high,
I mean, Ole Miss,
Now,
ESPN
who's doing
way too
this?
early.
Who's doing this? Is it all their
I'm going to
writers?
say this is Heather Dinich and Kimberly Martin put this together.
I don't know who it is.
I mean, Ole Miss, again, they've got to win a big game to get to number 6.
I'm almost willing to say I'll give you the testicle of lances that I own if Ole Miss finishes 6th or better.
6th or better.
can
You
the
can put it in a
holder of
vice if they finish 6 or better.
The left one?
You can put both. You can go casino on me till my eyes pop out.
Yeah.
This ain't happening with Ole Miss.
Feels like it's time for another Big Ten team, but maybe another SEC team. Maybe this is Alabama. It's another SEC team, but it's Missouri.
Who did again? Answer my question. Who did?
I
this?
told you who
ESPN.
did it.
Who wrote the story? Who put the way too early?
It's got to be Heather Dinich.
Usually it's Schleybaugh, isn't it?
Yeah,
Does it?
Slayball's doing like more investigative
It
stuff.
is
now.
Schleybaugh?
Is
It is
it?
Schleybaugh.
I don't think it is. Is
Well,
it?
I'm
Yeah,
getting
it
a thumbs
is.
up
It is.
from Lunsford back here, who's
Says Mark Schleybaugh.
Really?
Schleybaugh.
Yeah, I mean, he's covering golf now. Like,
Yeah, I
he doesn't have time to do this.
you can have Alabama wherever you've got them. I don't care, but Ole Miss and Missouri are way too
Slayball's
high.
got to press his khakis.
Yeah,
6 and 7.
Here comes, I mean, Alabama's surely 5th in the SEC. Oh, there's Penn State. There's another. Penn State, I mean.
They win big games all the time, right?
Yeah. James Franklin. Number 9. Alabama's not in the top. Oh, there they are. Number 9. Give me 10 just to finish this this exercise out. There's Utah, which is a Big 12 team now, right?
Finally.
Where's the defending champion?
Michigan?
Michigan's not in there, right?
That's a great point.
You know, I think this is going to be trendish instead of trendy when it comes to the 2024 season. I think there's going to be a lot of writers. They've been waiting for this moment when Nick Saban leaves, and they are going to pounce. And this is almost like we're going to rub Alabama's face in it. Like, Alabama might end up being really good, but because we don't know this yet, we're going to put them where they've never been before, or where they haven't been in 17 years.
But to Rockstar's point, you got a top 10, and neither of the participants in the national championship game are in Schleybaug's top 10. That's pretty wild to think about.
Yeah. So of all the rankings there, Alabama's the highest rated team with a coaching change.
Okay. Hang your head on that one.
I mean, Michigan and Washington changed coaches too.
Yeah, that's the thing. Michigan, Washington, there is so much attrition, not only when it comes to the coaches, but also those rosters. So to me, that's no surprise they're outside. But I think this is way too...
Is Forrester burning? Is he burning the top 10? Is that what he's doing?
Tuscaloosa's on fire. That's his Tuscaloosa's on fire graphic.
Look,
they're down to number 9.
Eli Drinkwitz, I mean, it was one of the incredible stories of college football, what Missouri was able to do this year. But to have them and Ole Miss in front of Alabama, you tell me the last time Missouri and Ole Miss beat Alabama.
Well, they don't both get a chance this year. Missouri does. I think Missouri, last time Ole Miss beat Alabama was 2015.
Last time Missouri beat Alabama, I'm going to go is 1975.
Was it that like some random Liberty Bowl or something like that?
No, I think it was a regular season game where they beat them in Columbia, and then Alabama came back and beat Nebraska the very next week or something.
I mean, Georgia can't even beat Alabama. I've got no problem with Georgia being at the top there, Ohio State. Then it becomes really, I mean, obviously this is all subjective, but I just don't understand the Oregon Ole Miss love. I just don't get it. And the Notre Dame love.
Yeah, I think Oregon is too high, but I have no problem with Oregon being in the top 6 or 7. Ole Miss and Missouri, I've got a problem with them being in the top 6 or 7. I think they're both too high.
Yeah, and Penn State's too high. Notre Dame's too high. This is an absolute joke.
That's your ESPN way too early. They do say way too early right there, Lance. It's way too early to do this. We do it right after the national championship, and now that the portal has settled down, there you go. The ESPN way too early top 25 out yesterday. And for those Alabama fans that need to be calmed down a little bit, you can go to Disrupt the Media, Roll Tide Pods, not disrupt the process, Disrupt Media, Respect the Process. Chris Stewart, Kelly Hunter with a conversation about that yesterday.
What is it? James Franklin can't beat top 10 teams, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, he's terrible against top 25s, but top 10s, it's just...
But I'll tell you this, he's only probably going to catch one top 10 team all year, depending on how USC plays.
In the new Big Ten, he'll only get one top 10 team?
Yeah, listen to this schedule. They open at West Virginia. They play Bowling Green. They got a bye week. They play Kent State. They play Illinois. They play UCLA. All those are at home. They're at USC October 12th. There's a chance USC could be in the top 10 by then.
Great uniform game.
That is a good uniform.
I mean, possibly. I mean,
there's a chance.
Yeah, a lot's going to depend on what happens in Las Vegas week 1. I mean, if USC beats
LSU, they're probably in the top 10 week 2. Yeah. Bye week at Wisconsin. I don't see a scenario where Wisconsin makes their way into the top 10. That'd be hard to believe.
No. I would take Wisconsin right now for whatever amount that they win the game straight up.
At Whiskey?
Yeah.
You want to go stake on that one?
Wait, that Wisconsin beats Penn State straight up.
It's on the road now. It's at Camp Randall.
And I get road team Penn State.
You can have as much James Franklin as you want.
I can't. Well, that defeats what I'm going to do next. But,
okay,
but I will take that state. I'll take Penn State straight up on the road at Wisconsin. I feel like I'll be getting points here. Is that what you're telling me? That
I think it'll be.
I mean, close to a pick, right?
If this thing opened right now, it would probably be a pick.
You know, the funny thing is, you're probably going to get. At worst, one loss Penn State in that game, maybe undefeated if they could beat USC at the Coliseum again.
Now, is that before or after the Alabama game?
Oh, it's after. It's October 26th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's well after the Alabama game.
Forrest, I don't know if you have that list of NFL Combine invitees this year by teams, just to continue to ride that horse of James Franklin. Has a lot of talent, but doesn't do a lot with it. Here are your NFL Combine invites. Michigan, national champions, got 18. That's a record. Washington, runner-up, had 13, second most. Florida State, some thought should have been in the playoffs, had 12. Texas in the playoffs, 11. Georgia, multiple-time national champion and still really good, 11. Alabama in the playoffs, 10. Penn State, 10. All those double-digit teams were either in the playoffs, had a quarterback injury that kept them from the playoffs, had a great history of winning championships, and then there's Penn State with 10.
After Wisconsin, they play Ohio State at home. That'll be their lone top 10 game, I think, because they finished with Washington, at Purdue, at Minnesota, Maryland. USC and Washington, I guess there's a path for them to get to the top 10. I just don't know that they will. So he's really only going to have the one top 10 game. To your point, Dunaway, this new Big Ten schedule, actually James Franklin kind of catches a break with it, because he doesn't have to play both Ohio State and Michigan every year anymore. That's a 10-2 schedule for them. Yeah. So, I'll back off Schleybaugh on that one. They're probably 10-2, and that's about where they'd be ranked at 10-2.
You're saying Penn State?
Yeah.
Well, just to remind you, I just pulled this, and this article is on how bad James Franklin is against ranked teams. He is 3-17 against top 10 teams.
Yeah, but I just gave you the schedule. He's only going to play one of them probably.
Andy says James Franklin is vanilla ice cream. Ryan says James Franklin literally only loses to Michigan and Ohio State every year. He doesn't lose to bad teams. Nicholas says, hey, not bad for DeBoer at Washington to have the second most, 13 NFL Combine invitees. That Washington team apparently was pretty talented, especially at that, receiver position.
I see what Ryan's saying about Franklin. But again, if you're Penn State, you shouldn't lose to those teams every year, right?
Well, they've lost to them every year, and that's the problem. And a lot of times it's the only ranked teams that they play. Or it's certainly the only top 10 teams they play. I mean, I think that's our criticism of James Franklin is he just doesn't beat top 10 teams. And by the way, his record tells you that. We're not being subjective here. Lance, this is statistics. This is what he does against top 10 teams. He loses games.
Yeah, and outside of top 10, he's lost 3 consecutive games to ranked 10s outside of the top 10.
Royal Payne says Kiffin, though, is just like James Franklin, 3-20 or something like that against 9 win or better teams.
That is correct.
So it's basically like Franklin.
Yeah, again, and I guarantee if you pulled Dan Lanning, you would see the same thing with Dan Lanning. I mean, and probably Sark. These guys can't beat top-end teams.
Kiffin's best.
Sark has that win in Alabama.
Yeah,
he does. Yeah, I mean, they've all got. I mean, I say that about Lanning. I don't know if he's even got one, but they've all got a couple.
Kiffin's best win at Ole Miss was last year against LSU. I can't remember where LSU was ranked in that game, but that was his best win. I think maybe ranking-wise, people would say it was Kentucky 2 years ago.
Yeah, what about did they beat Penn State in a bowl game?
Okay. Yeah, regular season. They did beat Penn State in this past bowl game. Okay. You know how I feel about
Lane Kiffin is 3-15 against top 10s.
Yeah. Now, I mean, to Lance's point, though, I think most coaches take away Kirby Smart, and now that Nick Saban's retired, and probably Dabo, probably most coaches you're going to find have a bad record against top 10 teams. Most of them. The vast majority do.
So a little college football to get us started today. The show being brought to you from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios by our friends at Hemp Hill Services Today, LT, where you get the wide variety of 33-degree temperature overnight and a high of 66 today.
Yeah, pretty amazing. 205-229-2090. Make sure that HVAC unit ready to keep up with all this changing weather. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Hard to stop a train. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
And we transition to our basketball conversation brought to you by our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Listen, early detection, so important, guys. We're talking about Urology Centers of Alabama that can help you with everything from prostate health to kidney stones and everything in between. All your urological needs, 35 urologists at 16 locations across Alabama. You'll find one near you, too. Just go online to schedule an appointment, urologycentersalabama.com, urologycentersalabama.com. Stay healthy in 2024 with our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Bruce Pearl talking about tonight's game down on the Plains. 7:30 SEC Network. Number 11 South Carolina at number 13 Auburn. You had projected Auburn about 8.5 as the favorite. Where'd that come in at mybookie.ag?
Yeah, I wanted to say that it was going to be a little higher, but just saying it to myself, I was like, they were 6.5 against Alabama. It's going to be more. Alabama's an in-state rival. There is much more respect in Vegas given to Alabama right now than South Carolina. And I started thinking, could it be double digits? I was like, it's not going to be that high. It came out 11.5.
11.5. Auburn against 21-3. South Carolina, who is a darling right now with the national media, talking about what Lamont Paris has done there. What's that number again?
11.5.
11.5 tonight. Bruce Pearl, is this quote, Forrester, is this exactly what he said? Is this from the Alabama week, or did he say this again? This sounds like what he said right before the Alabama game when Alabama got toasted down there. Here's Bruce Pearl again, this time in front of the South Carolina game.
We've been talking all season long about being in position and being in position, and that's where we find ourselves in. If we want to win the championship, we have to beat South Carolina tomorrow. It's pretty simple. Already being a game behind them, 2 games behind them, with 6 then to go, would be something I don't think we would be able to overcome. So it's it's going to be a real challenge because they've only lost 3 games. And there's obviously a reason for that.
Now, he said the exact same thing. If we're gonna have a chance to win the regular season, we got to beat Alabama.
He was correct in that, and he's correct in this.
And they beat Alabama pretty handily at Neville. Here comes South Carolina. Not the rivalry aspect, but sort of the same feel to how important this game is for Auburn.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt when you just look at the standings right now in the SEC, if you want to win the regular season, you've got to win this game. I mean, 2 weeks ago, South Carolina, unranked, they've won 7 consecutive games. This has just been really an incredible job that they've been able to. I mean, Lamont Paris, he's got to be your national coach of the year right now, right?
I would think so. I don't know where else you would go for that. I
mean, based on expectations, but we talked to Stephen Pearl yesterday, and media had South Carolina 14-14. He said we knew with these transfers coming in they were going to be much better than that, but nobody expected South Carolina to be where they are. I mean, they win this game, they're going to be in the top 10 next week.
Let me see how it ends. I don't know when they vote on this thing. Let me see how it ends, because
probably the end of the regular season.
Who's coaching at Iowa State right now as a national guy? Yeah. He's top 10 Ken Pom in a very tough league. Iowa State is.
Yeah, I don't know where they were picked in the Big 12, Iowa State. But
yeah, there was expectation with Iowa State.
To Lance's point, I know where South Carolina was picked.
Okay, what about BYU? I mean, also now in the Big 12.
I think they were expected to be a tournament team.
They're a top 12 Ken Pom team. Got another close win, but a win last night at home in the competitive.
I think Lance is right. I think it's Lamont Paris. He's going to be your SEC and your national.
I don't know if there would be any other votes for anybody else right now.
Well, that's right now. Now stack on, let's say, 4 losses in the final 7 games.
Yeah, which I think is going to happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, I don't think South Carolina's going to fall apart. Huh?
Well, I mean, if they win, this would be kind of the barometer. I think everybody's unsure when it comes to South Carolina. If they go into Neville and give Auburn their first loss of the season on the road after beating Tennessee on the road.
I was about to say they got road wins at Tennessee and at Auburn.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you could. Yeah. I mean, like, then we were like, is South Carolina the best team in the SEC?
Well, they've got a road win at Tennessee, which is hard to do. But they went into the week still 46 in the Ken Pom. Yeah. So the rest of their wins have not, resonated with the computers so far.
Yeah, but where would they be in Ken Pom after a win tonight? That's what I'm saying. I think the narrative completely changes on South Carolina if they're able to pull this off. I think they get their doors blown off.
Yeah, and their chances of winning tonight, in your opinion?
If we did seesaw, I'd probably go like 7%.
Yeah, 7%. Barely. The bus makes it to the arena, gets you 7%.
Yeah, I mean, if Auburn plays like they played Saturday against Florida, they probably get beat. I just don't see Auburn playing like that in back-to-back games.
Yeah. Speaking of getting beat, man, you try to figure out college basketball. The Athletic did an interview with your boy Ken Pomeroy, and he says, I don't know how long he's been doing this, Brown, but it's been a few decades.
Yeah, enough. I mean, how much money does that guy make, you think?
I don't know. I don't know how he makes. I mean, it's a subscription service for most of his data. He gives you he gives you the basic stuff for free, but then, I don't know how many people subscribe. I don't. I just use the basic stuff.
Yeah, but if he went to like major schools and he's like, you're not getting my stuff unless you give me $10,000, they would pay for it.
Oh, I'm sure there are probably schools that pay him for advanced analytical stuff.
You made him sound like he was a Russian hacker. If I went to school, you can get all the stuff back.
But I would imagine
you pay me this amount of money.
He's so well respected among coaches. I would imagine that there are schools that pay him for super advanced analytical stuff.
I mean, I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you notice, every time we have Oates on or Pearl, they've almost got it like here, and they're looking at, this is what
63rd.
So it's like within their reach at all times. It's that important to them.
But I don't know how long he's been doing it, but I know the national championship thing we talk about goes all the way back to 2002.
Yeah, but he says in his years of doing this, and it does seem like we say this every year, but never, in his opinion, has the field been as wide open as it is now of the teams to actually have a chance to win the national championship. Not to make the Final Four. He goes, but, I mean, you just throw a dart on who you think can win it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I was thinking about, like, a creative stake bet for us yesterday. Like, would you just take the Big Ten against the field? Or would you take the Big Ten in the SEC? And I was thinking, would I take the Big Ten in the SEC? I don't know if I would, because you've still got the Big 12 in the SEC. You've still got UConn, Purdue, Marquette.
Yeah.
I mean, Arizona. There are teams. I think it's nearly impossible right now to be like, I feel confident this team's going to win the national championship.
Well, the most consistent teams in all the computers all year long have been Houston, Purdue, and UConn.
Yep. Which are your top three teams right now?
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. In some order or fashion, they've been 1, 2, 3. And then there's the landmine that Brown threw on Indiana State yesterday.
You were getting blamed for it last night on Twitter.
Because, it is Jimmy Landmine.
Now, I will point out.
And I do drive the show, so I guess I did have Indiana State to talk about.
I will point out that there was one person on this panel that said they ain't losing this game.
Oh, yeah, that was me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
so if you want to blame anybody.
Yeah, but I mean, you're a double-digit favorite at home the first time you've been ranked since 1979. How do you even need motivation?
They didn't handle
what that's
that well.
called?
They did not handle that well.
They threw up on their shoes.
This was a team that was 11-14 coming into their building. I'm sure it was sold out.
I would think so.
Like, I don't know how you played that bad. I mean, 8 of 38 from behind the arc.
Yeah. Bad night to maybe read your press clippings. They had a little rat poison going into that one yesterday, and Indiana State comes up on the wrong end. There was even an upset in the SEC last night. Freaking Vanderbilt beat Texas A&M before Texas A&M comes rolling into Tuscaloosa.
And Vanderbilt's awful.
And Vanderbilt's not good.
Yeah, and there was nobody at that game.
They entered the week 212th.
Yeah.
In the Ken Palm.
It's not even like you went to a hostile environment either. I know it's a tough shooting environment, and it's a weird setup because you're on the end zone benches. But it's not like there were. I saw that was actually something I saw on Twitter last night. Is some people covering that game on how bad the crowd was.
Right,
empty seats everywhere. It's they were talking about. The fans are giving a Jerry Stackhouse referendum here. They're done with him.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's dead man walking. I mean, even with the win last night, it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter, but that was kind of the narrative. My point was, it's not like A&M walked into a hostile environment.
No.
They lost to a bad team in front of a bad crowd in a bad gym and took a bad loss.
And they had won 3 consecutive games they were playing. I mean,
they dismantled Tennessee.
I was going to say the win over Tennessee, the way they won that game, has to be one of the top 2 or 3 most impressive wins in the conference this year. But Taylor and Radford were playing so well. And it's kind of like Auburn. We talked about they haven't won in Gainesville since 1996. A&M now 2-6 in Memorial Gym since entering the SEC.
That used to be Alabama's problem. Remember, Alabama could never win in that place.
Yeah. It was the Birmingham Jefferson Civic Center of the North for Alabama. They struggled there for a while, too. Here's the deal, though. Texas A&M loses to Vandy. Now they got to go play Alabama. In the way college basketball is right now, would you bet your life that Alabama beats Texas A&M? You think they do, but I wouldn't put anything on it. No. There's nothing automatic in this sport.
Wade Taylor can take a game over, and I saw the way they were playing just last Saturday against Tennessee. There's no way I would. People over there asking, is Bucky going to Vanderbilt? Our man Forrester says he should hold out for a better job. Vanderbilt's a good basketball job.
Yeah, I mean,
Kevin Stallings had him in an Elite 8.
Yeah, that's been a long time.
It has, but I think Vanderbilt, with the way the portal is now, with the way NIL is, I mean, Nashville is a great city. You can get a Vanderbilt education. All you need is 1 or 2 really good players.
Here's the thing.
I would take that job in a second.
He's a system guy. He'll get paid well.
Yeah, here's the thing. Bucky has lived his whole life in this area, and Nashville's not that far away. It's not like you're moving all the way across the country.
That's right.
You're going to get paid SEC money. It's a private school, so I have no idea what they're paying Stackhouse, but I know it's going to be a heck of a lot more than Martin Newton can scrounge up to pay Bucky at Sanford.
Yeah, I mean, Bucky, worst case, would be making $2.5 million.
Yeah, and I don't know. I have no clue what Bucky's making at Sanford, but that is a significant raise.
Well, I mean, obviously, people are going to bring it up around here. Do you think he is on a radar of somebody like Vanderbilt?
Here's why I think Vanderbilt should have him on the radar. On a much smaller level, don't you think Bucky at Sanford deals with some of the things you have to deal with at Vanderbilt?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think academics. Yeah. I think a lack of athleticism a little bit. I mean, his system, I think, would be really good at Vanderbilt.
He's in a conference where he doesn't have to play at Kentucky and play in Neville Arena and things like that. So it is different. I completely, he doesn't have to face Nate Oates and Bruce Pearl and Rick Barnes and all those people. Yeah, it's still a good conference, but I mean, it's a different animal at Vandy, but I think he deals with some of the same things that he'd have to deal with at Vandy.
I would tell you there have been years where Alabama, Auburn, or UAB would have they've thrown Sanford on the schedule in November or December.
Yeah, you wouldn't now.
You didn't see anybody try to do that this year.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, they are projected right now as a 13. They're in the 60s in Ken Palm.
That's what right. I said. At that 13-4.
And I'm telling you what, if I'm a 4 seed and I turn that tape on, I don't like it.
Yeah, you don't want them if you're Alabama or Auburn.
Nope. If I'm a
scary
4,
first round game.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. That's our overview, our first thoughts of the day right there, brought to you in part by our friends at New York Butcher Shop. They can get you ready for a big Valentine's night tonight, can't they?
Yeah, you still got an opportunity to do the dinner for two at both locations in the New York Butcher Shop. Rear quality, well-done service. Call our friend Jim. Either the Cahaba Heights location, the original, the one in Greystone right there on Highway 119. Here's the package. Dinner for two tonight. 2 8-ounce choice fillets, loaded twice-baked potatoes, garden salad, yeast rolls, only $59.99. You can upgrade to Prime, just $10 more. Treat your special someone with their Valentine's Day special for two. Create that romantic evening at home. Call today, reserve yours, available for pickup. Again, $59.99. 2 of the fillets, loaded twice-baked potatoes, garden roll, garden salad, yeast rolls, all from our friends at the New York Butcher Shop.
Hey, and listen, from all of us up here, not only to you guys, because we appreciate the things that you do for us over our time together. We're all one big family, the viewers, the listeners, and all of us. But also to our significant others, our family members on this Valentine's Day, this sort of created day of love by, the folks who like to sell things. But in all seriousness, our family members, our significant others put up with us being away from home a lot, or being at home and watching games or preparing show notes or doing Lance's lock. So from all of us up here to our family members, significant others, thank you for letting us live our dream, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got big Valentine's plans?
Yeah, Little T and I are heading to Auburn tonight for that big 11 versus 13 showdown.
If they're up 30 at half, you can leave, right?
But Mag, it's a work night for Maggie too. I didn't know that either.
What, she doing a funeral?
No, it's Ash Wednesday. So
they go all night on Ash Wednesday?
Yeah, we got Ash Wednesday services tonight. Yeah.
What time?
Yeah, I think it's either 6 or 7.
Yeah, me and Rocky will be at trivia, and we'll see people come in every year.
Yeah.
Something on your head.
Yeah, I know. The first time I see somebody, it takes me a minute to remember it's Ash Wednesday.
Yeah, so it's a
I thought about
night
this
for Maggie.
Yeah. I was reading a little thing this morning, and it was talking about Ash Wednesday, and it was talking about giving up the things you love for 40 days. And I thought about you because you don't love alcohol. So I really think, just my opinion, the bread is big, but I think golf would be big for you.
But those 40 days are like really good golf days. I played yesterday in horrible wet conditions.
No, but I'm just saying, if you're giving
muscled out a 42 in the
like
front
this would
nine.
be like, I'm going to give up cucumbers.
You are?
No, I'm just saying that's like you giving up
I love
alcohol.
cucumbers, but alcohol on the golf course. First of all, I had a birdie yesterday, and I was able to take my shot of birdie juice.
Were you playing by yourself?
No, I had a group out there, and I won't be able for the next 40 days to do birdie shots.
I'm saying you're not giving up something you like.
Well, I think he is if he gives up bread.
No, bread, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I thought that's what you were giving up.
Alcohol and bread, yes.
Oh, so both?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alcohol and bread.
I mean, I think God's the one that has to approve this, not me, but I approve.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a chance that I don't know what day Easter is, but there's a chance we're at a music festival.
It's
for 4
called
days.
March 31st. Somebody's birthday up here is Easter.
Is Easter this year?
Yeah.
March 31st.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I would never
festival
give up something that I don't really care about because that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
you really don't
that
care
seems
about
like
alcohol.
It seems like you're gaming the system. Yeah.
I drink alcohol a lot.
No, you don't.
Not compared to you. But
No, but I'm saying, like, Super Bowl, you
most
came over.
mortals don't.
No, you had one beer at the Super Bowl.
I did have one beer at the Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
so you don't like drinking alcohol.
I don't know why we're discussing this. You're giving up bread.
No,
and
I think,
alcohol, yes.
Well, I mean,
no, but I'm saying that's why, like, the bread is a big deal. The alcohol is
I mean, it's never enough for you, man.
never
Never.
Never.
I'm glad my Lord and Savior is more forgiving than you. When we come back, more college football right here on The Next Round.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Legacy Credit Union has the ultimate game changer for your finances. With Engaged Checking, you can earn 3% APY on balances up to $15,000. You heard correctly, 3% APY. But it's not just about scoring with high yields. With Engaged Checking, you can get paid up to 2 days early. That means your paycheck, Social Security, tax refund, you name it, you get it early. So stop sitting on the sidelines and get in the game with Engaged Checking. Sign up today at legacycreditunion.com or visit any 9 Greater Birmingham area branches. APY is annual percentage yield. Terms and conditions may apply. See credit union for details. Federally insured by the NCAA.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, Ryan Brown here from The Next Round. Do you want to help pay for my kids' college and look great while you're doing it? You need to go to The Next Round store. Everything from hats to short sleeve and long sleeve t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, zip-up hoodies, and much more. And we're adding new things all the time. Why would you not want to see my kids get a great college education and look great out in the public while you're doing it? Get the gear we wear all the time on the show, and there's only one place to get it. NextRound.store. That's NextRound.store.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood. Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com. That's nextroundlive.com.
Back with you on The Next Round. Hey, last night as well, didn't mention this, but another top 10 team lost on the road. Syracuse upset North Carolina. Judah was a Lion last night. Judah Mintz.
Oh, okay.
Big night from him as they knocked him down 86-79. And Kentucky got back in winning ways. They finally won at Rupp. They beat Ole Miss. Here's John Calipari after the win last night up in Lexington.
In the NCAA tournament, you can't score 65, 63, 62. You can maybe in one game, but you'll get beat. You got to be able to score points. We can do it. You got to have a player that can go off in a game so you can advance. We have a couple of those. You can't be a high turnover team because the team you're going to play, they're in the NCAA tournament, they're going to be a low turnover team. We're a low turnover team. The issue is, will we be physical enough? So if we get those things squared away, the hardest thing to be is what we already are. If we don't get more physical when we play, if we don't improve our defense, if we don't come up with 50-50 balls, tough rebounds, then it doesn't matter this over here. But this over here is the hard thing. All the stuff I told you right there, what kind of skill does that take? No skill. Do you want it or not? What about this stuff over here? Ooh, that takes skill. And, you know.
Wow.
Well, I think he went to the testicle area.
I believe he
there.
did, yes, after saying like a mob. That takes skill.
Boy, I can't believe he's got to sell himself and his team on this. Look, they're really good offensively, and he's right. I mean, traditionally, if you've got an offense that's going to be scoring 65 points, you're not going to win a lot of tournament games. But Kentucky is a team that can score a lot of points. Their defense has been awful, but last night, Ole Miss, I mean, they couldn't hit shots. 5 of 22 behind the arc. They missed their free throws, 10 of 18 from the stripe, and Kentucky got a much-needed win. And he's talking about go-to guys. I mean, Antonio Reeves is really good. Reed Shepherd back on the bench last night, really, really good. Those are guys that can take games over. Now, the good news for Kentucky, I don't know about you guys, everybody seems to have written them off as a team that can make a deep run in this tournament.
And that's just the opposite of how they go into the tournament usually.
Yep. Usually it's like, damn, this Kentucky team could win the whole thing. And this is the year where people are like, they're probably going to be like a 6 or 7 seed.
Yeah, I was just looking, Lance. They're 24th in the net, so that puts you in the 6 or 7 neighborhood.
Yeah. But who does he sound like?
Well, he said it like a mobster.
No, but I mean, we got to play better defense. We got to be more physical.
Well,
Better
Nate Oates.
Yeah,
same thing.
they're in the same boat.
Yeah.
They're really good offensive teams that just aren't good enough defensively.
Yeah, I just feel like Alabama is a better offensive team. I don't think there's any doubt.
That's why. What would you put a total on the Alabama at Kentucky game? Right now?
I said this. Where did I say this? Were we doing the show?
I don't know.
I think you mentioned it yesterday.
Yeah, I think this total is going to be
169,
155,
155.
Yeah.
Well, like I was looking, South Carolina and Auburn.
That's a high total.
South Carolina and Auburn tonight is 137.5 at Neville. Tennessee at Arkansas is 151.5. Tennessee at Arkansas.
Yeah. Was it Ole Miss Kentucky? Was it 162 last night?
I don't think it was that high.
Or was that Oklahoma Baylor? That was 162. Somebody was 162 last night. I almost played it at mybookie.ag. I just hit little chalk parlay, taking Kentucky giving points, taking Baylor giving points.
How'd you do there?
I won that one.
Yeah,
I won that one. Baylor easily over Oklahoma.
I was just wondering, so you think there'll be a ton of points there?
I do. I think it'll be a lot of points.
Yeah, I mean, there should be. But, 155 is a high total.
Big number there. Hey, Woodhouse Day Spa. Here we go, guys. We're down to the final few seconds. So you went to work today, and you said to yourself, crap, it's Valentine's Day. Crap, Valentine's Day. When I get home tonight, my wife's probably going to have something cooked up for me. Mm-hmm. I need to come home with something. What can you come home with, LT?
You could do a great gift card from our friends at Woodhouse Day Spa. So simple. Go to birmingham.woodhousespas.com. That's birmingham.woodhousespas.com. You can order the gift card online. They will shoot it over to you. You can print it out. Take it to her. She's going to absolutely love it because she can choose herself from a menu of over 70 options, including massages, body treatment, skincare, waxing, nail services. Woodhouse Day Spa, voted America's best day spa since 2009. Again, order that special person gift 24/7 online, birmingham.woodhousespas.com, or stop in to the Summit Shopping Centers. Tell Stuart and the fine folks the next round sent you.
Lance'sLock.com. He has all the plays for you every day. He's got a free play every day. Follow us on social media. Follow Lance'sLock.com on social media.
What a game last night, by the way.
What did you hit?
We had New Mexico.
Late night.
Yeah, CBS Sports Network. They were playing a red-hot Nevada team. They end up winning the game 83-82. A lot of drama in that one. We were catching 1.5. That was your free play last night.
That was part of a 5-team parlay I had, New Mexico, in that one. Did not hit the 5-team parlay, or Brown.
Jim.
Because I.
So you had a 2-team and a 5-team?
Yes. Hit the 2-teamer. Missed the 5-teamer. The only game I missed on that one was I had Oklahoma in the points on the other side of the 2-team parlay where I had Baylor.
So you were hedging bets.
I was hedging
Were you
bets.
a net positive last night?
What now?
Were you a net positive?
Yeah.
Okay.
By $6. $6.
A lot of effort for $6.
It's a win. It's going in the right direction there. Let's do a little football right here. FanDuel sent out their win totals this week, and On3 Sports built this cool graphic of the SEC win totals. I just want to get y'all's reaction to college football win totals. Let's start at the top and work our way to the bottom. 2 teams, and one of them not Alabama, with 10.5 on the win totals. It's Georgia and it's Texas. How you feeling on Georgia and Texas over 10.5 regular season win totals, or under Georgia and Texas?
I would play, again, we got to go back through the schedules. I probably would play the over with Georgia, and I think I would play the under with Texas. Hey, Texas is really going to roll into this league year one and go 11-1.
That is hard to believe.
I mean, that would be an embarrassment for the rest of the SEC.
But 10-2 is likely a playoff team.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. I think Texas will make the playoffs.
Yeah, can you give me the Texas schedule?
I got it
again?
right here.
And Forrester usually backs that up with a graphic as well. So what do we have?
Well,
Brownie?
you got Colorado State at Michigan, UTSA, ULM at a conference.
I think they win all those.
You got Mississippi State at home.
Now, at Michigan will be tricky, but I think they win that game.
Yeah.
Bye week to start October, and then your all-state Red River rivalry. They're in the Cotton Bowl against Oklahoma. I mean, I think they're probably undefeated going into the Georgia game. Saturday, October 19th will be the biggest game in the nation that day. Number one right now, Georgia, coming to Darrell K. Royal. It's after Georgia has played Alabama. You're at Vandy, bye week, host Florida, at Arkansas, host Kentucky, at A&M. Lance, that is a favorable schedule.
It's a favorable schedule, but how Texas and Sarkisian would it be if you're 9-2 going into the A&M game, and it's whether or not you win that game to get to a college football playoff?
It's kind of hard for me to find that second loss. That said, Oklahoma did beat them just this past year.
They did. So, but to LT's point and your point, Brownie, they would have to lose a game that they're not expected to lose to go under that 10.5 win total. While we are talking,
and real quick though, Chris points this out in the chat, and this is so true. Sarkisian's won 10 games one time in his head coaching career, and that was last year. What are the chances he does it back-to-back years?
While we're talking Texas and Texas A&M here, Chris Del Conte talking to our guy Chip Brown about the future of the Texas A&M rivalry.
Yeah, he was asked at a symposium. I say symposium. I don't even really know if that's what it was. It was some sort of thing for like boosters and whatnot. Will we play Texas A&M every year? And his answer was yes. In fact, we hope to move it to a Thursday night game.
Move that back to Thanksgiving night.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that are saying that it is the hope of at least Texas, if not Texas and Texas A&M, to get the Thanksgiving night date back and the Egg Bowl get bumped elsewhere.
Yeah,
that's for those that don't remember, and it has been a while. That series ended with them playing on Thanksgiving night.
It did, and that was a tradition for them back in the day. And then when that rivalry stopped happening, Ole Miss and Mississippi State took over Thanksgiving night. You do a lot of media in Mississippi. Do you think the Mississippi folks would want to move off Thanksgiving night?
Yeah, they hate it.
Do they really?
Well,
I would hate it.
It's media people I hear say they hate it, and media people and fans are different. Obviously, the media views it as a work day. The fans view it as a fun day.
But my goodness, if you're Lane Kiffin and Lebby right now, Jeff Lebby, that is national exposure that usually Mississippi State and Ole Miss don't get.
Yeah, but that's typically a game that's irrelevant. I think A&M and Texas moving forward is going to be a irrelevant game. To me, it would make much more sense to have Texas A&M.
Okay, you're talking TV partners. I was talking about Ole Miss and Mississippi State's coaches.
No,
I would want that.
But
I'd want that Thanksgiving night.
But if I'm a fan, I don't want to do Thanksgiving. Like, Thanksgiving's already a break for me. I'm hanging out with my friends and family. That's a getaway day. I don't want to compact and have all of this stuff going on. I would rather my team, if they play like kind of a novelty every 5-10 years, sure, every year would wear you out.
Yeah, but if I'm a coach at Ole Miss and Mississippi State, I don't get that platform any other time. That is a big game. It'll be a big loss for Ole Miss and Mississippi State. The guys who run the programs, that program.
I don't think Ole Miss needs it right now. I mean, they've got a lot of exposure, right?
They don't get a standalone college football game ever.
Well, I mean, how many schools do?
That's my point. That's Ole Miss advertising right there in Mississippi State as well. That being said, if I'm a TV partner, give me Texas A&M over Ole Miss.
Yeah,
Mississippi
not even
State.
close.
Yeah, I think as a fan, I've liked the Egg Bowl, but there again, A&M and Texas is going to be so much fun when they revive that.
I wonder if they keep 2 games on Thanksgiving night.
How would they do that?
One on ESPN, one on
ABC,
SEC Network.
No,
one
but
on ESPN2.
I mean,
one on ABC, one on ESPN.
I was going to say you could really name your window on Thanksgiving. The problem is you're going up against the NFL and you're getting smoked.
Yeah, you wouldn't. I don't think you would go. I think you'd have to go doubleheader. I don't think you would play an early game, late game, a day game, night game.
But you do 4-7:30.
But that is a doubleheader. You mean 2 at the same time?
No, you'd go head-to-head. You wouldn't play a doubleheader. You wouldn't play back-to-backs.
Yeah, both college games going at the same time.
Head-to-head, yes. You would go head-to-head, yes.
Yeah.
You would not play 2 games, I don't think. Because, you got to remember, that late Fox game, how late does it end? Or the late
Well, it's a 7 o'clock kick.
No. The afternoon game.
Oh, the afternoon game's 3:30, so 7 o'clock.
Yeah, and there's 40 million people watching that game.
Yeah,
that would be a nightmare.
There's not a window.
There really isn't.
That you can play on Thanksgiving that you're not against the NFL, but they want to do it. So I just wonder how many college games will be there. You just wonder, does Fox want to lead their NFL audience into a Big Ten game someday?
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah.
You can only dodge the NFL so many times.
Well, and the NFL continues to take real estate, so it's becoming increasingly difficult to dodge them.
That's Black Friday has become an NFL day now,
and as we learned, they can't play a night game then.
But I remember, I think it was as early as 10 a.m. And correct me if I'm wrong. Texas and Texas A&M on Black Friday. for a couple of years.
Maybe so. I do remember a 10 a.m. East Coast game starting, I thought. But it could have been Texas A&M on Black
I think
Friday.
it was 10 a.m.
I don't remember it being that early. But I mean, I'm not saying it didn't happen. I don't remember it being that early. But the Black Friday is a big day as well, but also now a day game for the NFL on Black Friday. But streaming only, so that does help you out a little bit for the time being. All right, more of those FanDuel win totals from the SEC, including Alabama at 9.5 when we come back. The show being brought to you by our friends at Gutter Camp, a wonderful way to add value to your home. Maybe the most inexpensive way to add major value to your home is with our friends at Gutter Camp.
Yeah, look, the last thing you want to do after a long week at work is clean the dirty, dangerous gutters. You get on the roof, you slip, you fall, you snap the neck and die. You're no good to the wife or kids. Cap it, don't snap it. Call our good friend Chris Stewart. Tell him the next round sent you. 205-823-2212. He will come out. They'll put on that patented aluminum cover system. It fits over most existing gutters. You will never clean debris out. It will keep everything free and clean and free flowing. The answer is our friends at Gutter Cap. 205-823-2212 or guttercapbirmingham.com.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service. Did you know that colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in America and that it affects men and women equally? If you're older than 45, Rump Shaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer is preventable, treatable, and beatable, but early detection is the key. For more information, please visit us. Go to rumpshakerinc.org. Also, 6th Annual Rump Shaker 5K coming up Saturday, March 23rd at Regents Field. You can register online, rumpshakerinc.org.
Make sure to start your day at nextroundlive.com. Get caught up on the latest podcasts and videos from the live daily show, plus specialty shows such as the Mystery Fifth Hour. You can also learn more about the whole staff at Double Down Media, find all of our social media feeds, see the latest videos from our YouTube channel and gaming channel, plus find other ways to consume the show like the Next Round mobile app, which you can download direct from the site via your iOS and Android device. Make nextroundlive.com your homepage and stay up to date with everything from us here at the Next Round.
G. Curbo over in the chat room. The free lock has been on fire the last week. 6-1 since last Tuesday, G. Curbo said.
Yeah, try us out. LancesLock.com. Free play every single day.
Is that number accurate? Is he right? 6-1?
It sounds right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like G. Curbo should know, like he's playing the free lock. LancesLock.com. Our friends at JohnsonRVCenter.com bringing you our conversation about FanDuel's win totals that are out there for college football coming up for next year.
I-65 exit 304 in Coleman is the Coleman location of Johnston RV Center. You could see them in Decatur as well. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. But I want to focus on the Coleman store right now because the RV show at the BJCC is coming up not this weekend, but next weekend. We'll be down there next Saturday with a live show with our friends from Johnston RV. But you can get RV show pricing all month long there on the Coleman lot. And in fact, you can RSVP and get even better savings. If you RSVP by going to nextroundlive or johnstonrvcenter.com/TNR, johnstonrvcenter.com/TNR, you can get up to $1,000 in extra incentive. So you're already going to get great RV show low pricing and up to $1,000 in extra incentive just by sending in an RSVP. johnstonrvcenter.com/TNR. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman. That's the store I'm talking about. You can also see them at the 334 exit there in Decatur and always online, johnstonrvcenter.com.
All right, so back to the win totals from FanDuel. Forrester has the graphic ready to go and pulled up for us here. You're talking about 2 double-digit win totals, and then we get to a host of teams, 1, 2, 3, 4, where your win total is 9.5. That includes Alabama. Your gut feeling on Alabama right now, guys, at 9.5. In the past, if you got a 9.5 win total on Alabama, you
sprint to the window.
You jumped on that.
Yeah, I mean, you've won for 16 consecutive years if you take the over 9.5. It is interesting that they have moved this down basically a full game under Kalen DeBoer. The schedule is difficult next year, but I would lean, this number is right on it, and I've said this before, 10 or more wins, Alabama fans are going to be, I like where we are right now. This Caleb DeBoer guy did a pretty good job in year 1. 9 or less, people are going to be like, what the hell's going on? Time for a change. I would lean 10-2.
At Tennessee, at LSU, at Oklahoma, those are tough road games. I mean, those are tough road games. That's a difficult road schedule when you got to go to Tennessee, Oklahoma, and LSU. And then you add Georgia at home. Obviously, the Iron Bowl is in Tuscaloosa. You've got a road trip. I mean, I'll throw Wisconsin in there. At Wisconsin, at Tennessee, at LSU, at Oklahoma. I'm not sure many teams are going to have a tougher road schedule.
Well, yeah, it's a tough road schedule, but I would say, and I'm taking the Iron Bowl out of the equation this year just because it's in Tuscaloosa, but when you look at Georgia at home and you look at those 3 road games, if they go 2-2, you get your over 9.5, and they probably get to a college football playoff.
It's interesting you said what you said there because the Tuscaloosa Iron Bowls were a given under Nick Saban, pretty much. I mean, you had the comeback. Other than that, the Tuscaloosa Iron Bowls were blowouts a lot under Nick Saban. So we're programmed to say that. Well, the Iron Bowl's in Tuscaloosa. Alabama doesn't really have to worry about that game. I mean, there's no guarantee, I guess, that translates over to the DeBoer staff.
But can you imagine if DeBoer loses his first Iron Bowl in Tuscaloosa?
That is not going to go over well.
And if this is a A&M Texas scenario that I just painted, if Alabama is 9-2 going into that game, Auburn beats Alabama, and Alabama is out of the college football playoff because they lose their first Iron Bowl in Tuscaloosa under Kalen DeBoer.
Yeah. I mean, that's things nightmares are made of if you're the Kalen DeBoer staff over there. Tough schedule. 9.5 is the win total from FanDuel there. 9.5 for LSU. Feels like a 9-3 year to me for LSU, but 9.5. 9.5 for Missouri. Feels like a 9-3 or less year for me there.
Just because there's going to be expectation now.
Right.
Like I don't think we've ever, I say that, going back to Gary Pinkel, after going and playing for the SEC Championship in 2013, they were able to, not as good of a team, but go back to Atlanta the very next year. But we haven't seen this expectation under Drinkwitz.
I would like to remind everyone, though, as we talk about Missouri all off season, we will frequently go back to their schedule and say, it feels like a 9-3 team until I look at their schedule. It is a layup out of conference schedule.
Layup out of conference, but now in conference, they're not padded by all Eastern Division teams now.
It's still a fairly favorable, favorable as you're going to get.
Give me the games, and I'll tell you where they're going to be underdogs.
Well, they're not going to be an underdog out of conference, so I won't waste time there. At Texas A&M.
They will be an underdog.
Auburn at home.
They will be favored.
At Alabama.
They will be an underdog.
Oklahoma at home.
They will be favored.
At South Carolina.
They will be favored.
At Mississippi State.
They will be favored.
Hosting Arkansas.
They will be favorites.
I mean,
they're only going to be dogs in 2 games.
That's what I'm saying. Every time we talk about Missouri, we go back to that schedule and say that's a pretty favorable conference schedule there.
It is.
And a really weak out of conference.
Missouri's historically known for never losing a game they're not supposed to lose, though, right?
Again, they haven't been in the spot, so I really don't know what to expect.
I don't either.
And then there was one more. When you talk about the win total there, it was Ole Miss at 9.5, and when you look at that schedule.
Yeah, how is their schedule? I forgot.
A little tougher, right?
Well, I mean, I think you could almost say it's a blanket statement in the Southeastern Conference. Everybody's schedule gets tougher.
But you just said that there's not going to be only one top 10 possibly on Penn State and James Franklin's schedule.
That is correct.
Yeah. But at LSU, Oklahoma, Georgia, at Florida. That's four interesting games.
So LSU, good chance they're a top 10. Georgia, definitely. Yeah, probably only 2, though.
Yeah.
I mean, where are we on Oklahoma? If you go back to the win totals here, Tennessee's at 8.5. Oklahoma's not up in the top tier in the conversation for.
I think Venables did as good or better than any second-year coach based on expectations. 6-7. A lot of people believe that this job was too big for him, and the way they bounced back, very impressive, beating Texas as well. I guess it depends. Jackson Arnold must be the real deal. There's no way Dylan Gabriel is going to take off if he was going to be the starting quarterback at Oklahoma. At least I don't believe that.
They have the same win total as Auburn, 7.5. Oklahoma does.
Somebody said that in the chat room yesterday. They were a day ahead of us on these FanDuel win totals. And ask Lance, Oklahoma at 7.5 seems like easy money on the over.
They do go to Jordan Hare. Oklahoma at Auburn.
No, I think it might be 7-5.
You think they could be 7-5?
I do. I mean, you think, well, if we're just going by games they're going to be dogs in. I mean, first of all, Houston, Tulane, and Tennessee are tough. They're going to be favorites in all those. They're going to be dog against Auburn. They're going to be a dog against Texas. They're going to be dog at Ole Miss. They're going to be a dog at Missouri, and they'll be dog against Alabama. That's where you get to 7.5 total.
Yeah.
And a dog at LSU to end the year.
Look at it. That is one of the more difficult schedules I've seen. Yeah, Florida's probably the most difficult. But that one is right there.
Yeah, their first year in the conference. That's a SEC dose they're getting right there, year one.
Well, those are out-of-conference games you don't want. You get nothing by beating Houston or Tulane.
Yeah.
A little FanDuel discussion there on their win totals as we are now just 192 days away from week 0 of college football. But we continue the conversation with Josh Pate coming up on the other side. The show being brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services. They've been a proud sponsor of this first hour of the show today. Tell us about Hemp Hill.
Yeah, great guys. Unfortunately, I have to make that call too many times. 205-229-2090. Adam, Chad, Andrew. The guys at Hemp Hill Services, make sure you tell them the next round sent you. Make sure the HVAC unit ready to keep up with this changing weather. 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train or hemphillservices.com.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken. Bandwagon wants to remind you that baseball and softball season is right around the corner, and their shelves are stocked with everything your kid needs. From grip tape to gloves to custom uniforms, Bandwagon has all the gear, big and small, for those ballpark days. Until February 3rd, you spend $100 on baseball or softball equipment, and Bandwagon will give you $20 off. Just tell them the next round sent you. Visit locations in Cahaba Heights, Homewood, and Trustful, or go online to bandwagonsports.com. Next round listeners, it's time to jump on the bandwagon.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemp Hill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the next round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemp Hill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemp Hill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com. There are so many things I love about walk-ons. Authentic, mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine, prepared fresh, daily from scratch. A great beer selection and TVs everywhere to watch the big game every day of the week. And of course, they've got two great locations on Highway 280 and 119 and at Hoover near the Hoover Met. Walk-ons is also a great place for happy hour, 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with $5 moonshine swirls, $5 house pours, and half-price appetizers. And it's an easy take-home experience for the family as well. Highway 280 in Hoover with walk-ons.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Man, we're working towards a big vote coming up February 20th for the ESPN college football playoffs. They agreed yesterday in principle to a 6-year, $7.8 million extension. Just in passing, many people think you could buy, for what you're paying 1 year for the college football playoffs, many people think you could buy the Pittsburgh Pirates for that number.
I'd rather own the college football playoffs, I think.
I think I'd rather own the Pirates.
I get to go watch college football playoff games. I don't have to go watch Pirates
You don't
games.
have, but I've heard Pittsburgh. I've never been to PNC. I heard it is the hidden gem of Major League Baseball.
It's a nice stadium.
I'm just talking about the atmosphere on the river, all that.
Josh Pate is with us at Late Kick Josh, 24/7 Sports. He's with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. And I know what Pate's going to say. I'm not even going to say, would you rather own the Pirates, the college football playoff?
Aren't there three rivers? Isn't it more than just one river up there? Isn't it a confluence of three?
It is,
right.
yes.
That's right.
Are they still at the confluence of three, though, or are they only on the one? I think they're only on the one.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been.
Yeah.
Does anyone else want to make the correlation that it feels a lot like what some of the folks in that room are doing is essentially pirating from college football? Since we already made the analogy, let's just go all the way. Did you read the Dellinger report yesterday? Not about all the minutia of what's going on in these meetings right now, but the part where both on and anonymous sources quoted as saying, yeah, we're probably going to expand the playoff again to 16 teams. And I'm just sitting there with my hands up in the air like, told you. They're not stopping at 12. They were never going to stop at 12.
I love how they're already talking.
Don't know how to stop.
Yeah, they're already talking about expanding. We haven't even seen the 12 yet. They're already talking about expanding.
Yeah, the 12-team playoff era is old. It's played out now. We've almost had one full season of it. So, yeah, let's go ahead and go to 16. Why not?
But I'll tell you why it's important to go to 16 or go to 8. Or go back to 8, which will never happen, is because I don't want to be so good like Georgia that I never, ever, 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 ever have a home playoff game. That I never play a playoff game in Athens. I'm so good that I have a bye when we're playing the cool games on campus, and I don't play a playoff game until we're in the New Year's Six bowl games.
I would like to offer a counter. This is going to be sacrilege because it does involve leaving a few dollars on the table. But, there's no rule. There's no amendment to the Constitution that says you can't have 2 rounds of playoffs on home campus.
I know.
That's not etched in stone anywhere, although they would lead you to believe that. So if the impetus for moving to 16 is, well, we got to make sure everyone gets a first round or second round home playoff game, even if they get a first round bye, in that case, if you saw the movie Basketball, it starts to sound a lot like their postseason structure, where the champion of the East, South, Northwestern Division gets a bye. And if there's no winner at the end, you just two-man sack race on consecutive Sundays until a champion is crowned.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think 2 on-campus rounds, the way to go. Hopefully, eventually, we'll get to that point. But we were doing the way too early top 25 that Slaybach put out, revised after everything kind of settled. And I brought this point. For the top 10, you've got Oregon and Dan Lanning, you've got Texas and Steve Sarkisian, you've got Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin, and you've got Penn State and James Franklin. Those 4 coaches can't win big games. In order to be in the top 10, you have got to find a way to win big games. Am I overstating this a little bit, or would you agree those coaches, for whatever reason, can't find wins when it comes to top 10 games?
Well, some of them, I mean, like Lanning's he's had 2 years as a head coach. So some of them, I would say there's a difference between have not and cannot. And that's a theme we use all the time on the show. But the other part of that, did you say Notre Dame, by the way? Is Notre Dame in there?
No, I mean, Notre Dame to us very overrated at number 5. But Marcus Freeman would be in that category too. Yeah.
And the reason I mention them is because we did this on last night's show, and we talked about Notre Dame because I took bold predictions, and a guy said, "Hey, I think they'll win it all in 2024."
Wow!
And I had obviously I pushed back on that because I don't think Notre Dame's going to win a national title this year, but I don't think folks have really come to just grasp what the difference is in being a playoff team versus being a national championship team. And it was already a big gap, and that's just when we had 4 teams. Think about how far Cincinnati was away from winning a title, or TCU from winning a title. Well, in the 12-team playoff era, you're going to have a bunch of folks, and I guess this is the trick, this is the illusion. You're going to have a bunch of folks convinced, well, since we're a playoff caliber program, we're right on the doorstep of winning a national title, and you won't be. In fact, I think the sleight of hand is convincing you with more playoff spots, you've got a better chance of winning a national title. A team like Notre Dame's got a worse chance of winning a national title with a better chance of making the playoff. And I'd say the same thing about Penn State, because now you cannot, I don't care how soft your regular season schedule is. Notre Dame plays 1 team in the regular season this year with preseason championship odds higher than them. And it's Florida State at home, and they get a bye before them. So they've got a nice long runway into the playoff. But you can't dodge Texas in the playoff. You can't dodge Georgia. You can't dodge Oregon. And the difference in the modern model is instead of going through 1 or 2, you may have to go through 2 or 3 or 4, because remember, with Notre Dame, they can't have a bye. So they've got to play every single game you could possibly play. And if you're like Lance was talking about there, if you've struggled to get through one of those big hurdles in the past, all of a sudden you're going to put it together and get through 3 of them in the span of a month. It's tough to envision.
As you can tell, I've pulled my hair out, literally worried about post Nick Saban, Alabama. Where are you now as spring practice approaches with Ryan Grubb back to the Seattle area for the NFL? They're promoting from within, it looks like, in the offensive coordinator. Where are you on the panic meter of the Alabama football program?
I wouldn't panic losing Grubb much at all. Scott Huff is a pretty sizable loss. I know that's a coordinator I'm saying no big deal on. An offensive line coach, I'm saying, yeah, a little concern, nervously scratch the neck a little bit. But, I mean, let me put it to you like this. This is the reason I'm not freaked out about Grubb moving on. Number 1, he was there 5 minutes. Number 2, I never freaked out when Lanning left Kirby. I wouldn't freak out if Schumann left Kirby tomorrow, if Muschamp left. It's because I know it's Kirby's. I didn't freak out when Golish left Josh Heupel, because I know it's Josh Heupel's. And Kalen DeBoer, whoever he elevates there, if it's Sheridan, someone else, he's calling the plays this fall. And it's something that he did a healthy amount of even when Ryan Grubb was there. Now, this is not the internal look you ever actually get at a program. We don't get access to the headsets, but that's second hat, man, to Kalen DeBoer. So that's not a big deal. But that offensive line being what it wasn't last year, and getting the coach of the Joe Moore award-winning unit in there from the year prior, that would have been a nice boost to Alabama. But I've got this crazy philosophy that I've clung to, and it is don't judge a new staff before you get out of the first spring practice session. And so I'm willing to, in February at least, I'm willing to say, We'll see. I don't need to nail myself down on all this. We'll see. But I actually think in a roundabout way, I'd be more upset about losing Huff than I would be about losing Grubb.
Josh Pate with us, 24/7 Sports at Late Kick Josh on Twitter and his YouTube there. Go like and subscribe. Give him a thumbs up on all those YouTube. Same stuff we ask you to do for us, do for Josh. He's with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Chip Kelly's Ohio State offense will look more like his Oregon offense or his UCLA offense. Which one will it be closer to?
Well, it's whichever one he wants. I would imagine it'll be closer to his UCLA. I don't know. Do you agree with me that people misremember what Oregon was under Kelly? Because in my mind, I think a lot of people remember a high-flying offense.
No.
And it was majority run.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't throw the ball all over the place. They had the ability to. So in that sense, I guess you could answer either. But I think that I had a coach text me yesterday and say, do you realize he has never been at this talent advantage in his entire career? The only time he's ever coached talent that's better than what he's about to have is when he was literally in the NFL with the Eagles. And then he didn't have an edge most Saturdays. Now he'll have high-level talent and an edge most Saturdays. So we've got a grading system internally. Every coach, every assistant coach, every coordinator and position coach, we got them graded last 15 years. And we look at things like, who you had versus who you just brought in. Bill O'Brien, I know you guys probably talked about this a fair amount. When he was brought in at Ohio State for a cup of coffee, I heard some people up in Columbus trying to talk themselves into feeling good about it. Then I heard some people down in Tuscaloosa trying to talk him out of feeling good about it. And I just kind of sat back and watched and observed. And then he leaves. He takes the BC job. Chip Kelly comes in. Well, what I won't do personally is listen to someone say, O'Brien, Kelly, whatever. These two things are not the same. Bill O'Brien, by my numbers, would have been the 9th or 10th best coordinator in the Big Ten this upcoming year. I don't think highly of him at all. Chip Kelly, conversely, I think is one of the 9 or 10 best offensive coordinators in the country. We hadn't seen him be a pure OC in a long time. I can't overstate enough how big an upgrade staff-wise I think it is. And remember, with all the talent they've had there and with all the edges that they have, at least 11 Saturdays out of the year, if not all 12, whatever that extra gust of wind in your sails is that you need to get over the hump, they haven't had that. And so I'm not telling you Chip Kelly brings that by any stretch, but I'm telling you they've made efforts all across the board up there to try and find whatever edge it is they need. And I credit him because people talk about Ryan Day like he's been in the industry 30 years and he's been a head coach 30 years, and they say he can't win a big game. Just hasn't. He just hasn't done it yet. I'm a believer that some guys crack the code 7 years into their career.
You know, when this 12-team football playoff was announced, there was a theory out there that this would save a lot of jobs. I'm on the other side. I think it's going to cost a lot of coaches' jobs because if I'm a fan of 25 to 30 teams, I feel like my team at least every other year should be in the college football playoff. Would you agree when you look at this big picture, more coaches probably lose jobs than retain their jobs?
Yeah, I agree with that. And I also think so I think a lot of coaches were losing their job in the previous generation because of Nick Saban. And Saban came in and did stuff at Alabama that's really not supposed to be possible. And everyone assumed, well, if he can do it, it's technically possible. So if we're not matching that, forget matching it. If we're not close to that, at least, we need to make a change. And some programs made changes who had no business firing their coach. And now the standard will be playoff. And of course, you guys know as well as I do, somebody will walk in and they'll just boom, immediately. They'll take a new team to the playoffs. Since it's 12 teams, they'll get in there with a 10-2 record, and that'll be the standard. And everyone will start to think, well, in the portal era and the expanded playoff era, we shouldn't have to settle for a rebuild. Now, hey, Mike Norvell's done it and turned FSU into the #1 program in the ACC, but forget about that. We shouldn't have to wait anymore. And if you're telling us we have to wait, there are better options out there. Yeah, total microwave mentality, now more than ever in the expanded playoff era.
Who handles the expectations better this upcoming year? Ole Miss or Missouri? Because both of them are going to have really amazing expectations moving into this year.
I think Missouri folks will handle it better because I think that Missouri folks can envision 2025 and 26 under their head coach. I don't think anyone at Ole Miss is talking about 25 or 26 under Lane Kiffin. I think the expectation in the industry, whether he can execute it or not, is pull something off that's really special in 2024 and then to what comes in 2025 and beyond. I think there's a lot more longevity built into what Eli Drinkwitz is trying to do. Now, that's not to say that Kiffin could not remain indefinitely and be a winner at Ole Miss or just rinse and repeat this process through the portal every year. The difference is I don't know that that's his aim. Whereas I think Eli Drinkwitz is in it for the long haul up there, and they've secured him. There's stability, there's structure. They just lost some really good defensive staffers to LSU. Those are really good coaches. And not just Blake Baker. Kevin Peoples is, to me, one of the most underrated position coaches in America. And so he's got to replenish that side of his staff. But I think they'll handle it better. I don't think it's the end of the world if Missouri goes 8-4 this year. If Ole Miss does, it may in a roundabout way feel like the Michigan thing this past year for different reasons. But the Michigan folks looked and said, hey, whatever happens, we got to get it done this year. Could lose our staff. NCAA could come knocking. So their mentality was, forget it, edge of the cliff over there. We're not talking about 24. We got to get it done in 2023. And they did. And I think that's the mentality for Ole Miss. But imagine if Michigan lost to Ohio State and didn't go to the Big Ten title game and lost a bowl game, and then all this happened. How would they feel? They'd feel gutted. It would be the most hollow feeling era of Michigan football because you got close. You knocked on the door 3 times and it never opened for you.
Are you a fan of HBO's True Detective?
So the Jodie Foster season I haven't started yet. I actually went and rewatched season 1 the other day. That's how much I love season 1. But yeah, I'm a fan.
Okay, well, so season 1, really season 4 is a sequel to season 1. And you'll see there's a lot of correlations and there's what you would call the Easter eggs all over the place. With that said, the backdrop, you probably know, is 24 hours of dark, cold Alaska. What I didn't realize, Alaska obviously on a coast. I know you're a big tornado guy. I don't know how into hurricanes you are. I didn't realize Alaska had hurricanes.
Oh, my gosh. Do they?
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to talk about Aleutian lows and highs. So the Aleutian Islands up there, very, very infrequently visited by those of us in the South. When you get into oceanic oscillation patterns, which I know all you guys are, and hopefully the viewing audience is as well.
Big fan, by the way.
About how northerly those highs and lows get in the Pacific. And it impacts what happens with our weather in our backyard. But it all starts off the coast of the Aleutian Islands up in Alaska. And yes, it can get crazy up there. And unlike down here, if a Gulf storm or a tropical storm hurricane makes landfall overnight, you say, boy, we got to wait to sunrise so we can see the damage. Sunrise never comes. It's just dark. All your rebuild, your cleanup, your getting the power back on. It's just all in darkness. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I didn't realize a lot of the ocean, where you have the tide coming in, that is frozen for 3-4 months at a time, which is also insane to me.
And remember, people are choosing to live there. It's not a state penitentiary. People are choosing to live in
I don't know if they really are. I think you're either stuck there monetarily or you're trying to get away from something if you move there.
Okay, the move away from, I get it. If that was witness relocation HQ, so be it. But that's what God invented New Mexico for. What is Alaska there for? And we are land bridged to it. It's not an island, contrary to semi-popular belief where I came from. You can walk to Alaska. It's not recommended, but you can walk there. The best thing that ever happened in Alaska, to me, was the filming of Mystery Alaska, which is one of the most underrated sports movies ever. People hate on it all the time. But they played pond hockey up there and convinced the NHL to bring the New York Rangers up for an exhibition game. And Russell Crowe starred in it.
Yeah,
it's
very realistic.
Movie.
Yeah.
I'm changing my Valentine's writing to Maggie today. I'm going to say, "You're my Aleutian Islands. I love your I love your highs and your lows." I'm going to put that in there. That's going to work out.
You make
good.
me oscillate, much as the Pacific Ocean does. Yes. Just tell me how that works out on the 15th.
He doesn't like when she oscillates, though.
Wow.
No comment.
Yeah,
I've definitely got
quietly awkward.
Yeah. Those are extratropical cyclones, not hurricanes, though. Am I correct about that, Pate?
Of course.
Yeah.
And if you need more time, we can go another segment. But yes, you are correct.
Okay. Was your favorite or least favorite part of the Super Bowl the Twister trailer that played?
Okay, so I was at I was somewhere I didn't need to be. I was at a party at management's house.
Yeah, you took Andy's Condies.
Yeah.
Yes.
You've got, I don't know where the bread plate goes. Why do I have 4 knives and forks in front of me? So I walk around the crystal stemware as the commercial's playing. There are like 20 people in the room. And I just stood in awe because I knew the trailer was coming. And so it finally hits. I stood in awe. Now, I walk in with healthy skepticism that this is going to be a good movie. I'm nervous about it, but as I told you guys many times, it's not the scientific accuracy that drew me into the first Twister. It is nailing storm chasing culture. Like, you have to be a truly sick-minded individual to crave being in the path of a tornado. And so if you get a group of those folks together, very unique culture. Don't care necessarily about the scientific accuracy. Well, the second one, that's what I want it to nail. I don't care about the scientific accuracy, although I will say, I think people would be shocked to go back and look at the biggest movies of the 90s and to learn how high up in box office Twister was. And then think about all the sequels we've had of just utter and complete trash. And it took to 2024 to get a sequel to Twister. That's what boggles my mind. In an era where we are starved for original ideas, this has just been sitting there and no one did anything with it until now. So I'm hopeful, fingers crossed. I'm hopeful that Twister 2 pans out the way it should.
I mean, they've done like 4 Willy Wonkas already. I mean, we have beat that thing to death.
I play golf with my insurance provider. He wants to know if you have to disclose your storm chaser on any life insurance policies or auto insurance policies.
No, just don't do it.
Don't answer the question.
Yeah, right.
Is probably what I would say. I never thought about that. Can we scrub a lot of what we're talking about right now? Yeah.
Nobody watches this show. Don't worry about it. Nobody watches this.
We are not clipping this one for social. No. Just feel free to do anything else. Not this one, though.
So tell little T, go ahead and delete that tweet she was sending out, right? Okay. All right, he is Josh Pate at Late Kick Josh on Twitter. See him on 24/7 Sports. Like his work. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe. Follow him. All those things. Thank you very much, Pate. Have a great week.
See you guys.
All right, buddy. Take care. Josh Pate with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.
I've got a prediction, an NFL prediction after LT tells us about our friends at Redmont Vodka.
Gluten-free, 8 times distilled, locally owned and operated. Incredible product available at your local package and ABC stores, including Pink Package and the Beverage Place. Ask for it by name if you're at a local bar or restaurant. If they don't have it, tell them to get it. Available in 22 states. It is Redmont Vodka.
When the Chiefs play the opening NFL game next year on Thursday night, I think it'll be an Andy Reid Harbaugh matchup.
I could see that. I mean, they're going to play twice a year in a 17-game schedule, and you want to add a little juice.
I agree.
Harbaugh has the the 5th best winning percentage in the history of the NFL when he comes back.
Yeah. By the way, though, I did a little play there as well by saying Harbaugh because the 2 betting favorites for their opening opponents
Baltimore
are the Chargers
LA.
and the Ravens.
Yeah,
both home games for the Chiefs.
Yeah, they've narrowed it down. They believe it's going to be one of 6 opponents for the Chiefs, and your favorites are the Harbaugh brothers. But I think you could go either direction. I kind of would like to see Jim Harbaugh on that stage to open up the season.
Yeah. Chiefs and Chargers is the betting favorite.
Those have been some great games, too.
I think the Chiefs do host Baltimore, to your point.
No, that's why they're in the betting favorite number 2. They do host Baltimore next year. That's why I went Andy Reid Chiefs Harbaugh matchup there. There's a chance there's 2 of them on that home schedule, 2 Harbaughs.
Yeah, I'm just looking. I don't see another home game that would move the needle as much as one of those 2 would. I agree with you.
All right. When we come back, 4 downs, part of the conversation later on.
New bracketology from Lunardi.
Oh, new bracketology.
Movement for both teams in this state.
New bracketology from Lunardi. We'll talk Aaron Estrada, Alabama basketball with us. Next live guest with us at 11 Central at the top of this hour to start the final hour of the show. And by the way, there's a documentary coming out. 2 episodes every Friday for the next 5 Fridays on Apple TV+. It's on the dynasty of the Patriots. And they gave an advanced viewing of all 10 episodes to The Athletic. And they said, if you just like reliving the early days of Bledsoe to Brady and the building of the dynasty, first couple episodes are even good, even though you know the story. They say it really gets good in 4, 6, and 7, those episodes. And this is 2 episodes every Friday. Episode 4 is Spygate, information that you haven't heard before, including one guy who's still with the organization talking about destroying the tapes with a sledgehammer. Episode 6 is all on Hernandez with the organization. Episode 7 is Deflategate. But 7 through 10, they say, is unbelievable, according to The Athletic, on the relationship between Brady and Belichick and how the players were talking about, like Rob Gronkowski in the documentary says, I would pull up to One Patriots Way every day, and I would have to get motivated to get out of the car and go in to work. It was that horrible of an environment inside the facility.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only episode that I would be interested. I mean, I lived this. We lived watching Tom Brady and Bill Belichick win these championships. And I really, as a Rams fan, the Rams were so much better that year Brady won his first. Spygate was real. I got no desire to see that. I don't know. You guys, is this on view? I mean, 10 episodes? My God.
Yeah,
how
it
much
does seem
more
like a lot.
Belichick and Brady can you get?
Deflategate, I got zero interest in that part. I would be interested in seeing the part about the Brady-Belichick atmosphere.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm interested in.
I'll check back with you guys if you're not watching it, because according to The Athletic, this is one of those must-see documentaries from the same people that did the Tiger Woods documentary, which I never saw, I don't think.
I saw that one, and it was okay.
Tell us about our friends at Way to Wellness. Oh, that's me.
Tell us about it, Jim. Why don't you?
Your journey to healthy living. Jump on Way to Wellness right now and end up jump-starting your weight loss here in 2024. Leslie and her board-certified team will take care of you. All you have to do is go to the website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. This is something different folks up here have done in the past. We went by and saw Leslie right there and her board-certified team down at Way to Wellness, and we've used the opportunity there to sort of get into better shape here at the workplace. Leslie and her board-certified team can do that for you with no contracts, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is absolutely free. So no financial obligation to learn more about Way to Wellness. How do you get dialed in on that? You just go to their website, aplanforme.com. Aplanforme.com. It is Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living.
Everything Alabama, all the time. Subscribe and set alerts at Roll Tide Pods on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
There are so many things I love about Walk-Ons. Authentic, mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine, prepared fresh, daily from scratch. A great beer selection and TVs everywhere to watch the big game every day of the week. And of course, they've got 2 great locations on Highway 280 and 119 and at Hoover near the Hoover Met. Walk-Ons is also a great place for happy hour. 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with $5 moonshine swirls, $5 house pours, and half-price appetizers. And it's an easy take-home experience for the family as well. Highway 280 in Hoover with Walk-Ons.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from The Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
The Next Round is so much more than the show you get from 9 to 1 each day. So make sure to head to our official YouTube channel at Next Round Live and subscribe to get all of our latest content. We, of course, have plenty of specialty content and shorts based all around the sports in the heart of the SEC. But we also talk pro sports, gambling, lifestyle and entertainment, and so much more. It's the Next Round YouTube channel where you never know what you're going to find next. Subscribe now to see the latest content and get notifications when we go live. That's at Next Round Live on YouTube.
All right, don't forget Little T and I down at Auburn tonight for South Carolina Auburn, 7:30 tip. Follow us on social media, including Twitter and Instagram. X, if you call it X, Twix, if you combine the two, and Instagram tonight. We'll have a lot of content for you, including, I think she's got an Ask Us Anything ready to go for either the ride down or the ride back. All that happening tonight. Also, Tennessee, if you just believe top 10 teams on the road are interesting, number 8 Tennessee at an Arkansas team that has underachieved for a variety of reasons this year. You just wonder if Arkansas is a tough out for Tennessee tonight on the road.
Yeah, look, more surprising if South Carolina is able to knock off Auburn on the road, but almost equally surprising. I know it's on the road at Bud Walton, but I just don't see Tennessee losing this game.
Yeah,
back-to-back losses for this team is hard to believe, right? All right, before LT tells us
by the way, 8.5-point favorites
is Tennessee on the road. And Auburn's what again, 11.5?
11.5.
11.5 at home against the number 11 team in the country. That just screams beat down, doesn't it? Tell us about Dr. BLT after I give you this fact. The first season, this from The Athletic, the first season of Game of Thrones, season 1, cost them $55 million to make. The way, if accepted, the amount of money ESPN is paying for the college football playoffs, they will pay twice that much for a first-round on-campus matchup. They'll pay $110 million for that one football game. Say Utah at Ole Miss.
Well, like I saw back to True Detective, this season 4, I saw the entire budget for the season was $60 million.
So that's once we go to that's in not these next 2 years, but that first
year of the new TV contract.
The 6-year deal.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it is noted, and you brought this up, Brandy, a couple of times when we've talked about it on the show, that in the fine print, it does say ESPN has the rights to sell off licensing to other networks if they want to do so.
Yeah.
And so they're roughly paying about $1.3 billion a year to have the broadcast rights through the 2031 season, 2032 playoffs championship game. But there is a chance they can make maybe all that money back by selling the rights out.
You know what's interesting is this goes through 2032, okay?
2031 season, 2032 championship.
That's right, 2032 championship game. The Fox, CBS, NBC deal with the Big Ten is up at the end of the 2030 season. The ESPN deal with the SEC is up at the end of the 2034 season. So this is going to come up for bid right between Fox, NBC, CBS having to renegotiate that Big Ten deal and right before ESPN renegotiates the SEC deal. I don't know if it's good or bad for them.
It is bad for Fox and the others because they will have to spend a lot of money to keep the Big Ten and the rights to that, and then they've got to turn around and also bid on the playoffs. But again, this isn't approved yet by the college.
It's not.
This was announced yesterday, and this is what ESPN and the college football playoff governing body have agreed to. It still has to be approved by the commissioners, and there is a chance that the Big Ten folks will be upset that ESPN ABC has the sole rights to the playoffs moving forward, who is tied to the SEC, and there could be some pushback on them agreeing to this deal.
But there was a lot of industry speculation that this number is a little bit lower than a lot of people thought, which indicated there weren't many bidders. that ESPN might have been the sole bidder on this deal, which if you're the Big Ten, then you have to say, well, Fox isn't involved because Fox didn't bid. I don't know I can't twist their arm and make them bid on this, right?
That's right.
They're already giving me $8 billion or whatever it is in our deal. I can't.
We got to take care of us first.
I can't very well go to him and say you got to cough up $8 billion more.
Speaking of taking care of yourself, Dr. B did that for LT.
Yeah, again, when I started to thin out, it's been a couple of years now, I asked around. Dr. Beckenstein was the name everyone mentioned because for more than 20 years, women and men have turned to Dr. B for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training, genetic testing to help each patient fully understand the procedures they are considering. I did the non-invasive treatment on the couch last night, 30 minutes. I do it 3 times a week. My hair is more than doubled in thickness. Make the phone call that I made. Schedule the consultation today. If you know somebody that is thinning out, be preemptive. Tell them about it. Be a good friend. 205-319-0316. That's 205-319-0316 or t3hair.net.
February 20th is the day that the committee is getting back together to vote on everything else, including the 5-7 model. When it's all said and done, do you think we end up with the 5-7 model?
I do.
For this very first year.
I do. I mean, when you think about 6-6, you were including the Pac-12, and you have Washington State and Oregon State. So I don't know how realistically, if you have guys that sit in that room with common sense, you can't include the Pac-12.
What is amazing about the breakup of the Pac-12 is there's still some existing contracts, right? And we get word yesterday that the Pac-12 bowl tie-ins are still going to, for the next 2 years, be able to select former Pac-12 teams for their bowl games because there are still contracts out there. So anybody that's left that is going to the Big Ten or to the Big 12 or Washington State and Oregon State could still be selected as, quote-unquote, the Pac-12 version of these contracts for these bowl games. The Alamo Bowl, the Las Vegas Bowl, the Holiday Bowl, the Sun Bowl, the L.A. Bowl, and the Independence Bowl.
But does the Big 12 and Big 10 get priority? Like if Oregon...
College football playoffs...
Gets priority.
Gets priorities. And if not, then Pac-12 teams can be selected for these. Even though there are no tie-ins with those leagues right now in the Big 12 or the Big 10.
It's going to be so confusing.
It is. But then the Alamo Bowl tried to play the same card and say, because of our deal with the Big 12, we too would like the right to still select Oklahoma and Texas, to which the SEC said, that's not happening.
You can select them all you want, but they ain't showing up.
Yeah. They will be part of the SEC bowl package. That's not happening. Yeah. So the Alamo Bowl... good on one side.
That's right.
Bad on the other side.
I give them an A for effort, though, on at least making the ask, right?
And that is one of the more entertaining bowls.
I do like the Alamo Bowl, yeah. Yep. In fact, I wouldn't mind it becoming an SEC bowl game.
And it could.
Yeah.
Why not?
It's better than some of the ones the SEC's tied up in right now, I would say. And I mean, if you're an SEC fan, a trip to San Antonio is not a bad deal, is it?
It is not. And it's usually an exciting game, a good facility. It's been Pac-12, Big 12 most of the time.
Yeah.
So why not a little SEC Big 10 maybe? You're going to get a lot of it.
Yeah, SEC Big 12, yeah.
SEC Big 12. That's just some of the football stuff going on. All right, one more thing in this segment. We got Aaron Estrada at the top of the hour, and so we'll work our way back to basketball. But an amazing stat about Patrick Mahomes, I'm not sure everyone has noticed yet. But if you're a stat guy, this one's going to blow you away after Brownie tells you about our friends at A+.
A+ Tile Home Remodeling, Jimmy Dunaway. That is my man, Brad Bell, A+ Tile Home Remodeling. I'm going to give you 3 things. Now, he does everything well in the contracting game, but 3 things he specializes in are your master bathroom, your kitchen, and your master bedroom closet. Now, there's a reason he specializes in those. Scott is showing you video of a recent master bedroom closet he remodeled. It is gorgeous. Not at my house, but Brad was very proud of this. Said, I got to show you this video. I was like, well, okay, we got to use it on the show. This is amazing. Gorgeous closet there. Now, one of the reasons he specializes in that is he knows that the things you're going to enjoy while you own your house are going to be a good master bedroom closet, a good master bathroom, and a good kitchen. You spend a lot of time in all those 3 areas, but when you go to sell your home, that catches people's eyes. Scott is showing you my master bath update that Brad did in our house. That is, in fact, my house. And you're going to get your money back on these now. So if you're ready to do that remodel at your house, Brad Bell is the man you need to call. A-Plus Tile Home Remodeling is his company, A-Plus Tile Home Remodeling. You see him down at the home show coming up in a couple of, this weekend, in fact, down at the BJCC. You can see him in the home show. A-Plus Tile Home Remodeling. Brad Bell is his name. Here is his number. If you miss any of this, just reach out to me. I'll be happy to share it with you. 205-422-1758. 205-422-1758. Brad Bell, A-Plus Tile Home Remodeling.
This comes from a guy named Neil Payne who did the work on this. But since 2001, there's been 56 quarterbacks that have led 125 drives in the NFL playoffs when their team was either tied or trailed by 7 points or further. 125 drives in the playoffs since 2001 where that's been the case. Within one score or tied, basically game-winning drives, right? Of those 125 drives, 40% of them saw the offensive team either tie the game or take the lead to go on and win the game. Tom Brady, 5 of 11 in those such drives, 46%, one of the best to ever do it. Drew Brees, 3 of 6, 50%. Aaron Rodgers, 75%. Patrick Mahomes is 100%.
That's amazing.
He is 7 for 7 in those situations. In the playoffs, one score or tied, driving to win the game.
It's why when coming out of the 2-minute warning, they did not. San Francisco didn't convert that third down. Spagnuolo brought the blitz. Kansas City had 2 timeouts. San Francisco was in field goal range already, but he forced them to kick the field goal and save the timeouts. I knew then that game was at very best for San Francisco was going to be a tie situation going to overtime. I really thought they were going to score a touchdown.
Oh, look, when they had to kick the 3 to start overtime, I thought San Francisco was done. You
just don't let him have the ball.
Yeah, he's that good. And you think about his 3 Super Bowl championships. He has been trailing by double digits in all 3 of those games.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty amazing. And he didn't have weapons this year.
I mean, Buffalo one time left him 13 seconds on the clock and he still beat them. I mean, you just cannot give that guy any time, nothing. When I'm telling you, man, when they left them 2 timeouts on the other side of the 2-minute warning, you just knew best case for San Francisco was going to overtime right there.
Yeah, and look, I don't know what to believe, but Kyle Shanahan has now come out doing the damage control. You know, I talked to my coaches about the overtime format.
I don't believe what he said.
I don't either.
That we wanted the ball first and sudden death. I don't think he thought that far ahead.
Yeah, and he said if it would have been a shootout, we would have taken the ball second. We would have deferred.
Yeah. I don't believe so much is going on an NFL sideline. I just don't believe in that moment you had the clarity of thought to think, hey, listen, if we take it first, we get it first and sudden death.
That's why you already make the decision before the game. And if gut changes that, and maybe that did, but it's almost like, okay, if we go to overtime against Pat Mahomes, and you can do it one of 2 ways. We dominated the first half, they came back. They dominated the first half, we came back.
Yeah.
And just have that scenario ready to go. I mean, that's one of the things as a head coach you have got to have prepared, where in the moment you don't have to. I mean, it seemed like, again, I didn't know the rule, and I can admit that. People watching the game with me did not know the rule. I forgot it was changed in 2021.
I'd forgotten initially, and I
don't think Shanahan knew.
My wife initially asked me, how does this work? I said, well, if they score a touchdown, the game's over. And then as soon as it got out of my mouth, I was like, no, wait a minute. They changed that for the playoffs, but I've got to Google it to make sure what the changes are.
And they went over it in the broadcast. They just didn't have a cool graphic ready to go, which they should have.
Like Rockstar said they do.
Why would they not have a graphic?
Every college game, they not only have the graphic, but they go Rockstar into excruciating detail about the graphic.
Now, at one point, we're going to tell you both teams have to go for a 2-point conversions after scoring.
Excruciating detail in the college game. NFL game, it's just like, everybody guess what's going to happen.
Yeah. And then when we get to the 5th overtime, the quarterback has to use their offhand. Right-handers have to use left hand. I wish the college game would go to that NFL model. I thought it worked really well. All right, when we come back, more on Auburn's game tonight down in Neville. You'll hear from Bruce Pearl when we come back. And we'll work our way to Aaron Estrada coming up at the top of the hour. 4 down still to go as well. Next round being brought to you by our friends at A+.
I just told him about A+.
Oh, you did A+?
I did A+. Tile Home Remodeling. That's my man Brad Bell, not away.
In that case, it is time to hear about our friends at Michelson Laser Vision. Tell us about Michelson.
Yeah, call 205-969-8100, the number that I called decades ago. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. She's going to hook you up with the pre-inflation pricing. If you've been procrastinating, make 2024 the year of sight for you. If you wear the contacts or the glasses, you're wasting money each and every year. I'm speaking from experience. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Ask about the pre-inflation pricing. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
Hey, if you're looking for Birmingham's best pizza, you need to stop in and see our friends at Slice Pizza and Brew. It's as local as you can get, from the ingredients that go into every pizza to the beer on tap. For a great lunch or dinner, go see our friends today, Vestavia or Lakeview at Slice.
Hey, Ryan Brown here from The Next Round. Do you want to help pay for my kids' college and look great while you're doing it? You need to go to The Next Round store. Everything from hats to short sleeve and long sleeve t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, zip-up hoodies, and much more. And we're adding new things all the time. Why would you not want to see my kids get a great college education and look great out in the public while you're doing it? Get the gear we wear all the time on the show, and there's only one place to get it. nextround.store. That's nextround.store.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Did you know that colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in America, and that it affects men and women equally? If you're older than 45, Rump Shaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer is preventable, treatable, and beatable, but early detection is the key. For more information, please visit us. Go to rumpshakerinc.org. Also, 6th annual Rump Shaker 5K coming up Saturday, March 23rd at Regents Field. You can register online, rumpshakerinc.org. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
What are you waiting for? It's non-stop gaming action at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Come play more than 900 of the latest and greatest games around, featuring fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can wager and win on horse and greyhound races from all over the world. There are more ways to win at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Back with you on the next round as we continue on. Rockstar Fuel Give Me Cut 4. Bruce Pearl getting ready for the game tonight against South Carolina. And this is a good Carolina team. 21-3 overall, 2 losses in the SEC, playing in a place where Auburn has not lost this year. Here's Bruce talking about the key to beating a team like South Carolina.
So what are the keys to playing a team like South Carolina, especially one that wants to limit possessions as much as possible? Like what's the kind of the challenge of that for you guys, especially on defense?
We'll try to speed them up when possible. You just got to understand what they like to do offensively and what's the best way to take those things away defensively, and try to lock into a game plan. We don't play the same way defensively every night. We got to play hard every night, but we don't guard the same way every night because we try to. We're a scouting report. We're a scouting report offense and defense based on how you guard us and what you like to do offensively. So at the end of the day, too, understand South Carolina is very, very physical. and so was Florida. And, we were probably more physical than Alabama was. And so the more physical team won last week.
Yeah, physicality makes a difference. You hear Calipari talking about the same thing after Kentucky's win last night. That gets us to a new bracketology out from Joe Lunardi.
All right, here are your 1 seeds in order. In order from bracketology. Joe Lunardi has Purdue, UConn, Houston, and Arizona. Nobody's got any trouble with that, right?
No. So Purdue's the number 1 overall seed?
Number 1 overall. These are in order.
Now, if Marquette, for whatever reason, was to steal one in stores this weekend against number 1 UConn, I think Marquette probably jumps here.
Who he's got as his top number 2 seed. Lance reading ahead in the script right there. Marquette, his top 2 seed.
Didn't they lose earlier this week on the road? I mean, everybody
does.
Yeah.
Tennessee as a 2 seed. North Carolina off their loss. Jim, did they lose on the road?
Last night.
Hey, since Armando Baycott said, ACC not comes through Chapel Hill, it comes through me.
Right. How have they played?
They're 2-3.
Okay. North Carolina, a 2 seed, and new to the 2 seed line, moving up, the University of Alabama.
Alabama to the 2?
He's there. Alabama is Lunardi's last 2 seed.
That's surprising.
The 3 seeds, Iowa State, Kansas, Duke, Baylor.
No Auburn.
The 4 seeds, Illinois, Auburn, Wisconsin, Creighton. He's got Auburn as a down arrow. However, Lunardi says of tonight's game, South Carolina at Auburn, the surging Gamecocks are roughly 2 big wins away from a 4 seed. One of those would come tonight, obviously. Auburn is in range of a 3 seed with a victory. So there is a potential in Lunardi's eyes. He could move Auburn from the 4 line to the 3 line just with a win over South Carolina tonight.
But back to Alabama as a 2. I mean, when you look at how brutal the schedule is in the final 7 games, they would have to go 5-2 in those 7 games. Worst case, probably 6-1 to get that 2.
Well, if they do that, they deserve it too.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. I just don't see that happening. Do you guys?
No, it could all settle out where both Alabama and Auburn are 4s, or maybe both Alabama and Auburn are 3s. When it's all settled out, right?
Lunardi has got 9 Big 12 and 9 SECs.
Yeah, I mean, 2 and 3 really don't matter.
Yeah. That's a compliment, by the way.
What, 9 SEC and 9 Big 12?
Yeah, just to have the same number as the Big 12 does right now. Jason, one of our great listeners, sort of north here of Birmingham, he says as long as they keep them in Memphis, I don't care.
Yeah, that's a good spot to go if you're an Alabama fan.
Forrester's right. That Auburn-Sanford tournament game is going to be terrifying.
It's a 14-3
Say
right
what
now.
you want. They say they never put any stock into it. They have a sense of humor, and if Alabama or Auburn is a 3 and Sanford's a 14, don't be surprised at all if you see that match.
Well, okay, so Sanford would be 13 or 14 probably, right?
14.
A 14?
Yeah, I think it's going to be 3-14.
Well, I think they could be a 13 if they don't lose.
Well, I think they could be. I'm just saying I believe they're going to be a 14. It's still 3-14 is a dangerous game.
So this is the according to Lunardi right now, the 8 teams they could play would be Iowa State, Kansas, Duke, Baylor, Creighton, Wisconsin, Auburn, or Illinois.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see some upsets in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
His last 4 in, Ole Miss is included in that. His first 4 out, the first team in his first 4 outs, Gonzaga, still in Lunardi's eyes after that win in Lexington, out of the tournament.
Interesting stuff from Lunardi that has it out there. We'll get to our 4 downs. Up next, Aaron Estrada at the top of the hour. Tell us about the Rump Shaker that's coming back at a great annual event right here in the city of Birmingham.
Yeah, I don't know how many people know that colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in America. It affects men and women equally. If you're 45 years or older, Rump Shaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer is preventable, treatable, and beatable, but early detection is the key. For more information, visit us. Go to rumpshakerinc.org. That's rumpshakerinc.org. Also, the 16th annual Rump Shaker 5K is coming up Saturday, March 23rd at Regents Field. For more information on that, rumpshakerinc.org.
And our 4 downs today brought to you by our friends at Slice. LT will tell you about Slice when we're done with 4 downs. 4 downs today all over the place, including, surprisingly, a good football birthday day today.
I heard Lance literally say, ignore the birthdays.
Well, so there was one birthday of some chick in a ski mask, and I was asking about
what?
Yeah, and Maddie said that she's seen her with her boyfriend come in to a bar in Nashville wearing the ski mask. Like, she wears the ski mask all the time.
Her thing is a ski mask.
Like, she was one of the top. It's so weird when you look at the top celebrity birthdays. These people, I've never heard of any of them, but this chick's got a ski mask.
Okay.
And that's like her claim to fame.
That's a weird thing to be your thing.
And I think she might do OnlyFans in the ski mask.
Okay.
Rockstar, are we ready for 4 downs?
Are we doing now?
Sorry
Yeah,
about that.
we're going to do it right now.
Didn't mean to hijack you.
That's okay. 4 downs. And first down starts right now. First down.
First down.
Who's at their job longer? Jed Fish or Sharon Moore? Fish getting a lot of conversation now at the Washington job. And he actually said yesterday the reason he couldn't stay at Arizona is that Washington was offering him his assistant pool $3.5 million more than Arizona was willing to go for his assistants.
Yeah, I'm not buying Jed Fish. Getting great job in Tucson. The expectations are going to be higher at Michigan, but the resources are better. I will say that Moore is at his job longer.
I think I would go better program long-term as Michigan, so I'll go Sharon Moore here.
I think I would too. Again, 4-0 as the head coach last year.
Yeah.
And some big wins.
He was.
He's already got a win over Ohio State.
As an acting head coach.
Yeah, as an acting head coach. Good point.
Second down.
They retired Shaq's jersey last night in Orlando. Wilt Chamberlain has jersey retired from 3 different NBA franchises. So does Pete Maravich, even though Pete never played for the Pelicans. They retired his because it's the New Orleans franchise at the time. But Shaq does with the Lakers, the Heat, and the Magic. Obviously, his time with the Lakers, I think, was the best.
Not
Shaq,
even close.
Best Shaq.
Yeah, the Magic playing for a championship in '95 was impressive when they lost to Houston. And then the championship he won in Miami, it was all Dwayne Wade. So, I mean, his not even close best year's Lakers.
Okay, I think you just answered the question then. Better of the other two, was it his time with the Heat or the Magic?
Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when he came on. The NBA didn't know what to do with this guy.
No,
like
they
you
did
had,
not.
Olajuwon was an athletic big. Patrick Ewing was in his heyday then, but they were like, who in the? He made an immediate impact. And
Just foul him.
To be able to get them to the finals, and Hardaway was really good there, and Dennis Scott, Nick Anderson. You had a really good Orlando Magic team, but what Shaq was able to do early on was incredible.
Only 4 years there. But what was Shaq like with the Heat? Did he help?
Yeah, he helped.
Wade was the guy, but
he was the compliment. With the Magic, though, it was all through Shaq. And with the Heat, Shaq was that number 2 guy, but to me, it was Magic easy.
Let's do third down.
Third down.
Auburn basketball 12-0 at Neville, 15 straight wins without a loss. Does Auburn lose a game at Neville this year?
All right, here are their remaining Neville Arena games. They will play South Carolina tonight, Kentucky on Saturday, Mississippi State, Georgia.
No.
I'd go no as well.
Yeah. I think their best chance at a loss is going to be Kentucky.
On Saturday.
Yeah.
With game day in town.
Yeah, I would go no.
Yeah, I will say no. That number's not going to be as big as it is tonight. Of course, they win by 25. Maybe it will be. But yeah, they're not.
Yeah,
I don't think they're going to lose
a
at
home
home.
game.
So that would be 16-0 this year, and it would carry over into next year on a 19-game win streak. Pretty impressive there. I agree. No. Let's do fourth down. Final one.
Fourth down.
Finally here, would have been Steve McNair's birthday, the late, great Steve McNair. Also, Drew Bledsoe's birthday today. Also, Jim Kelly's birthday today. In your opinion, best quarterback not named Marino to never win a Super Bowl?
Jim Kelly. I mean, he played in 4.
Yeah, I mean, just because he played in 4, probably Jim Kelly.
Steve McNair gets some conversation.
Yeah,
McNair or Jim Kelly better quarterback?
I think
Jim Kelly.
I think McNair was the more overall talented guy, but Kelly had the better overall years. So I would go Jim Kelly, but I thought McNair at his best was probably better.
That's 4 downs, brought to you by our friends at Slice LT. Tell us about Slice.
Yeah, 4 locations for you. The original in Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, now Crestline Park, coming soon to Homewood. Get in and see the Bajaya Brothers local pizza, local ingredients. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
What a treat. We get to talk to Aaron Estrada live on the show when we come back on the next round.
Follow Rockstar on Twitter at RockstarBHM.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
There are so many things I love about walk-ons. Authentic, mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine prepared fresh daily from scratch. A great beer selection and TVs everywhere to watch the big game every day of the week. And of course, they've got 2 great locations on Highway 280 and 119 and at Hoover near the Hoover Met. Walk-ons is also a great place for happy hour, 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with $5 moonshine swirls, $5 house pours, and half-price appetizers. And it's an easy take-home experience for the family as well. Highway 280 and Hoover with walk-ons.
Things fall apart. There's even a book about it, but that doesn't mean you have to break the bank to fix them. Ryan Brown here for the next round. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a new renovation option that will make repairs and other home improvements easy. If you've recently purchased a home and find yourself short on cash, or you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, Mortgage Right's renovation loan program can help you spruce up your space. Repairs can be made to your roof, plumbing, flooring, and more with the help of top-notch mortgage professionals. So get your fix by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. And MLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender. Want more of the Next Round? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, the Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Make sure to start your day at nextroundlive.com. Get caught up on the latest podcasts and videos from the live daily show, plus specialty shows such as the Mystery Fifth Hour. You can also learn more about the whole staff at Double Down Media, find all of our social media feeds, see the latest videos from our YouTube channel and gaming channel, plus find other ways to consume the show like the Next Round mobile app, which you can download direct from the site via your iOS and Android device. Make nextroundlive.com your homepage and stay up to date with everything from us here at the Next Round.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Sort of a bye week for Alabama. They don't play until Saturday. No midweek game this week, but back at home early, 11 a.m. with new look uniforms when Alabama plays host to Texas A&M on Saturday, Brownie.
Aaron Estrada is with us from the Alabama Crimson Tide. The point guard joins us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. What is up, Aaron? How are you today?
Hey, what's going on, man? How you guys doing today?
Doing awesome. Thanks a lot. Was there like a big unveil for the uniforms? Did you know those were coming, the throwbacks?
Kind of the starting five kind of knew a couple of days before it got announced on like the social medias and everything. And Steven kind of pulled us into the room. And I don't know if you guys seen the video, but he basically got like everybody's reaction to it. And that's kind of when we found out.
Yeah.
Hey, before we get into this season and what's going on this weekend, let's go back to after your senior year when you hit the portal out of Hofstra. Was Nate Oates really the first coach that reached out to you and had contact? And what do you remember most about that encounter?
He really was like the very first coach to reach out to me. Like it was probably like I entered the portal at 12 p.m. and he called me probably within 30 to 40 seconds within that minute.
Wow.
But I was actually in class at that time too. It's crazy. And I didn't answer at first, and then he sent me a text like, "This is Coach Nate Oates at Alabama." And then like right after that, I left the class. I said, "I'll be right back. I gotta use the bathroom."
Did you go back though? There's no reason to go back, right?
And then kind of like right after that, like as soon as, I talked to Coach Oates, I kind of just felt like he wanted me really bad, and he wanted to like prioritize me for his roster. And like probably like I talked to him like again later that day, and he said that he wanted to like fly down and meet me like when I would go home, because like that was during the springtime, so like, and most of my classes like on the weekends and stuff, I didn't have any, so I was going home every weekend, and he said he wanted to fly down, and then like that weekend, like 2 days later, he flew down, met me, my mom, and that's kind of how we got the ball rolling from there.
What is it about Nate and about his system that you like so much? Why do you think it resonates with players?
I think nowadays in this generation, guys just like to shoot a lot of threes. I think that's something that really draws me in, is just shooting a lot of threes, and then like having the freedom. He lets his guards play. His guards pretty much take most of the shots. You don't really post up the bigs like that. So I just felt like all around it was just the right fit for me, in a basketball standpoint.
Aaron Estrada is with us, Alabama point guard. Other than the fact that they are both in the United States, give me something that Woodbury, New Jersey, and Tuscaloosa have in common.
I feel like it's a big family, I would say, because Woodbury, like, I feel like for the most part, it's a very small town, so everybody really knows everybody. Everybody supports one another, and I kind of get that same vibe and that same feeling when I'm here in Tuscaloosa playing for Coach Oates.
What are the more accurate stereotypes? The stereotypes that exist in the South or the Jersey Shore?
That's a tough one. I don't know, man. I'll probably say the South.
Oh.
I'll say the South.
Yeah, we like our fried food, and we're nice people. I mean, that's the stereotype you're talking about, right? We eat good food and we're nice people.
Yeah, literally, though. Like, I think that when I first came down here, like on my visit, like I didn't really know how real the Southern hospitality would be. And like, as soon as I got here, like you said, everybody was so nice, and like the food was really good. So,
do you have a fake Southern accent? Like, can you fake one?
Nah, I don't never try to talk in that Southern accent.
Which one of your teammates would not fit in if you took them back up to Jersey? Is there one that would be fish out of water in Jersey?
Nah, I don't think so. I think pretty much everybody on this team is kind of like they could adapt, I feel like.
Well, what was more difficult for you, though, because you did play that one standalone season in Eugene. You went to play for Dana Altman and the Oregon Ducks, and being in the Northeast all your life, going Pacific Northwest, West, and now Southeast. I mean, what was the bigger adaptation for you? Was it in Eugene or Tuscaloosa?
I would have to say definitely Eugene. It was like going to the West Coast. For me, it was just like a whole different vibe. Like, and it was during COVID as well. That might be another reason why, like, COVID wasn't really too many people out there. It was very like quiet town in Eugene. I don't know if it's like that, like when it's not COVID, but it was different for me.
Did you get to pick your Nike gear whenever you wanted it, though? I mean, that is one of the things I've always wondered with, I mean, to have Phil Knight that involved with that university. I mean, it just seems like you guys would be able to go online and order whatever you wanted.
Yeah, so with that, it was kind of like, it wasn't like that, but we was getting like every drop, like every sneaker, like every Kyrie Irving shoe, Paul George, anybody who makes Nikes, we were getting like all those shoes in like black, yellow, green, like literally every single shoe that they would drop, we would get like every colorway. And then like we had like the shirts and everything that we got, like the apparel, and we got a lot of that like very, very frequently. So I still have like a lot of Oregon gear, and I only went there for 1 year, and I got so much gear still.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to get rid of those green and gold Nikes at that point, right?
Oh, not if you put them online for sale.
Do you guys talk about the SEC regular season championship race at all? I mean, you and South Carolina at the top right now. Is that a goal that you set as one of the leaders in the preseason to be regular season champs again?
Yeah, we wanted to honestly be the best team in the country coming into the season. Things happen. You lose a couple of games, and like we probably not going to be the number one seed in the country. But the SEC is definitely still very attainable for us. Coach Oates tells us like every day in film, like we basically control our own destiny. Like we got the games that we need, and we know who we got to knock off to stay number one. So I think we're going to be able to do it too, man. I got a lot of confidence in this team. So.
Aaron Estrada is with us, the Alabama point guard. What do you see in Texas A&M? They had a tough loss last night at Vanderbilt. Don't know if you were able to watch that game, but when you see A&M, who you've got coming up Saturday, what do you see out of them?
Yeah, I actually did watch their game. It was a crazy ending.
Yeah.
Vandy got the buzzer beater, but I think Texas A&M, I think they're a really good team. I think that just Wade Teller is just their everything, man. I think they go as he goes. And, I feel like if we take him out the game, then basically I don't think they're going to have no other answers. And that's kind of like our focus too. And they also, they offensive rebound really well. I think Coach Oates said like they're the best offensive rebounding team in the country. So we definitely been struggling on the glass. So I feel like if we stop Wade Teller and we rebound solid, then we're definitely going to take care of business and come out with the win.
So we've got one guy on this panel that's a lefty, and Rockstar, our producer. My older brother's a lefty. Lefties seem to be a little weird, a little quirky. Do you have any quirks as a left-hander?
I really don't, honestly. And it's funny because the only thing that I do on my left hand is play sports. I do everything else with my right hand.
So who was a better lefty in basketball? Would you go James Harden or Chris Bosh?
James Harden. Definitely, James Harden. He's way more skilled.
Yeah, allergic to championships, though.
Wow.
but also likes to shoot a lot as well.
He does not mind putting the shots up.
How many times during a day does Nate Oates talk to you guys about being physical, about being rebound? That seems like he would take a sip of water, talk about being physical, take a sip of water, talk about being physical. Is it all the time with that guy about being more physical?
Yeah, I think ever since we've kind of been, struggling on the defensive end with rebounding, it's kind of been like a big emphasis for us to, take our team to the next level. Because although we were still winning games, like we definitely could be winning games by like a much larger margin if we were cleaning up those little things like rebounding and being more physical with teams. So,
how much does he talk about math? Because the last time he was on this show, he talked about non-Euclidean geometry. None of us had the first clue what he was talking about, but he sounded really smart doing it. Does he do it for you all the time?
Yeah, kind of basically everything we do is basically find some way back to analytics, whether it's the, the shot we shooting or like the other team's percentages or like for instance, for like Texas A&M, like they get about 46% of their misses. Like I said, they're the number one offensive team in the country. So yeah, it's kind of analytics like all day when you're around here. Can't even lie.
For my 5.5 years in Tuscaloosa, if I was asked this question, the answer would have been a flat out no. But is there any class you enjoy right now in Tuscaloosa that you're taking?
I got a social media marketing class that is online. Like all my classes are online, but my social media marketing class, I think is pretty interesting. I'm kind of just learning about how I can, like different ways to, expand my social media and like I said, just expand.
Yeah. By the way, when you're done with this interview, if you'd go back, watch it, like, subscribe, and give us a thumbs up, we'd appreciate it too.
Yeah, so if you retweet it,
we're going to get you some followers out of that.
Yeah, would help us out a little bit too. That's how we make a little bit of money too. Have you ever seen? I'm going to do a Nate Oates impersonation. Have you ever seen anybody that enjoys water more than Nate Oates? That guy attacks a water bottle, man. He drinks it nonstop. Has anybody in your life ever been more thirsty than Nate Oates?
Man, I don't know, man. Honestly, like I can say, I don't even really be seeing him like during the games drink the water and stuff. Like I'll be focused really on the game sometimes, but I did hear like a few people say that he be like going in on the water when he be drinking it. So
going in on it.
Hey, if you had one guy on your team outside of you that had to play horse for your life, who would you choose?
Ooh.
For my life, I'm gonna go Sam Walters.
Wow.
Now, would he be able to handle the pressure? Is he a buddy of yours? Like, if your life was on the line,
Sam cool, man.
Okay.
He probably, like, honestly, he probably the best, like, spot-up shooter on our team. Like, most of the time at practice, if he open, even if he's not open, it's still gonna go in, I swear. Like, he's probably the best shooter that I played with, like, throughout my college career.
What if you'd give me 5 guesses, I would have not got to Sam Walters for you right there.
What is y'all's honest take on Grant Nelson's mustache?
I mean, it fits him. I feel like it fits him. It's kind of like who he is, man. That's what everybody knows him from, his mustache. So,
does he ever get a compliment from the female population in Tuscaloosa with that mustache? Because I get the feeling LT doesn't think it plays well on the Strip.
Well, I mean, it's like he's. You remember? I don't know if you had this in high school. The Deca kid that would leave at noon. The guy that always looked 2 years older, but he wasn't gonna serve a full 8 to 3. He was gonna leave wood shop and he was gonna go straight to loading groceries at Publix or whatever.
Nah, with Grant, honestly, I don't really know about the female situation. I know he got a girlfriend though, so
that's all that matters.
Yeah, something's working.
So he's one for one.
His girlfriend think it look good. That's all that matters.
That's right. It is Valentine's Day for Grant.
LT makes it sound like though you need to keep all your copper wiring away from him when you're on road trips.
Not the Deca guy. The Deca guy was on the up and up. All right, he is Aaron Estrada, the Alabama point guard. He says he likes social media. Go follow him on Twitter at Aaron4PF_. And on Instagram, at Aaron Estrada. Very easy there. Thank you very much for the time, Aaron. We greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate you guys for having me.
All right, take care. Aaron with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.
I was going to ask him what he likes on his pizza. We talked to Connecticut's Tyler Booker on the show weekly, and he goes, what is it, chicken and broccoli? I wonder if he had anything weird on his pizza.
The crazy thing is he signs with in-state St. Peter's when he came out of high school. If he just would have stayed there, he would have gone to an Elite Eight.
That's a great point.
It's a great point.
I thought of that. Beat Kentucky and go to the Elite Eight.
You think he ever thought of that?
I'm sure he did. Yeah.
All right. Part of the show today being brought to you by our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing. Greg from Pell City, one of the best guys you'll ever meet, and he's the best in the business when it comes to your roof. Whether you're replacing a roof, sometimes they age out and you have to replace them occasionally. He does that work as well. Sometimes you get storm damage, and you have to have somebody quickly out there to help tarp your roof and then repair it. Greg can do that as well. And he's also the home for that free no-cost roof inspection. 205-542-3531, 542-3531, or Greg from Pell City on Facebook. Locally owned. He and his wife own the company. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. They don't give that out. You earned that, and Greg's been earning it for a long, long time. And the insurance companies trust him as well. That's going to help you when it's time to file your claim there with Greg from Pell City. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, or you can actually text his number or call him up, 205-542-3531. And if you ever want any instant reviews about Greg, just jump in the chat room, and everybody there will tell you how awesome Greg from Pell City is. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing. And this hour of the show always brought to you by our friends at Champy's. Champy's world-famous fried chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. You can't beat Sterling and the crew. There's young Sterling and his great food there. Cooked to order, piping hot when it comes out, brined overnight. It is champyschicken.com. They're expecting 500,000 people on the streets of Kansas City today. And we got live pictures on the NFL Network as that parade's about to get going down there, and is in fact underway as we speak. 500,000 people on the streets, and the Chiefs and the city of Kansas City both split the $1 million cost of hosting this parade today.
I mean, 500,000. I mean, is that not the population of KC proper?
I mean, that is a lot of people, especially as many championships as this team has won and has not gotten old. Like you've seen with Alabama and Georgia as they've won more and more, and Clemson too. Dabo talked about this. Fewer fans show up at the airport when you come back. Fewer fans come to that parade. Fewer fans come to that game, that thing at the stadium where you honor the team.
That's right.
It just becomes so casual.
But you think about this, like if you're building morale in your office, you allow people to go to this parade.
Heck yeah. If you're working downtown, let's
And
just
with
go.
that said, if you've got the opportunity to sit at said cubicle or desk, or you can go celebrate the parade and go have a couple of beers.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah, most people are busting out.
Yeah, I'm wondering if some of these people go out there thinking maybe Taylor Swift will be at the parade too.
Oh, I'm sure.
Probably so.
I don't think she's going to be, do you?
I would not think so.
She's back on tour, isn't she?
No.
I mean,
I'm sure she's got.
and she had to fly back to Tokyo?
Yeah, you don't
I
get
think
the,
she's in Australia right
Is
now.
she?
Yeah.
Well, you don't get the audience if you're Taylor Swift for this parade.
Yeah, it's low. Yeah, I mean, you're going to be on NBC 12 in Kansas City. You're not going to be.
Did you see the mic'd up part though? That seemed like genuine love. The mic'd up.
You sound like
Kelsey
Nate
and Taylor.
Burleson now.
That mic'd up.
Nate Burleson had written this out like a lot of broadcasters, and I like Nate, but like a lot of broadcasters do, like I've got to have my moment that I'm going to call that's going to be signature. He had this thing so scripted out for CBS at the end. This is true love.
Yeah. Lance is going to die on this hill. You just got to get ready for this. Anyway, you can bring it up as much as you want.
Man, he was thanking Taylor for flying halfway around the world to be there. What? And he asked her, "Was it electric? Was
Such
it
a
electric?"
selfless act.
Yeah. Now she's got to put up with him out of football season. She runs a lot of guys off either with, either it's her wanting to do it or they decide they've gotten sick of her or whatever. She's going to run this dude off quickly.
Back to the actual outcome on the field, Andy Reid winning another one. I saw a comparison that Kyle Shanahan, and I think this was from our buddies at Outkick, Trey Wallace maybe. Kyle Shanahan's start to his career losing some of these big games reminds them of Andy Reid early on. I mean, didn't Andy lose a lot of NFC championship games?
He could not get over the hump.
Yeah, but Andy was doing it with a Hall of Fame quarterback. I give Shanahan a lot more credit than Andy. If Shanahan had Pat Mahomes, he'd have 5 Super Bowls right now, championships.
Yeah, you're probably right about that, yeah.
Yeah, so don't give up on Kyle Shanahan yet, right?
I wouldn't. I mean, it does annoy me. I just wish he would have come out and owned it. Hey, look, this is on me. We weren't prepared in the moment for that overtime instead of trying to do this damage control. I think Shanahan's a hell of a coach. You wonder, though, if pressure starts to get to him. It never really felt like there was a ton of pressure on Andy Reid to finally get to a Super Bowl with McNabb. He did that. He wasn't expected to really win that Super Bowl once they played the Patriots. But Shanahan is expected to win these Super Bowls, and now that he's 0-3 and he's had double-digit leads every single one of these, where he's had control of the play calls, and he's been criticized in every one of these Super Bowls. So if he gets back there, the pressure just amps up more and more.
And by the way, keep in mind, Andy Reid didn't get over the hump as the Eagles coach. Finally did as the Chiefs coach. So
he at least made a Super Bowl, but you're right, never won one.
So maybe Shanahan finally gets over the hump, wins a Super Bowl for a different franchise somewhere down the road. Combine, a little note here about college athletics and movement. What position of the people invited to the Combine do you think actually transferred, not at their original school, that got invited to the Combine? What's the position that involved more transfers?
Oh, it's got to be quarterbacks, because do you look at Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, Michael Penix?
Yeah, almost all of them.
79% of the quarterbacks invited to the Combine were at a different school.
Yeah.
Sam Hartman,
one that did not was my guy Austin Reed. He stayed at Western Kentucky. A lot of people thought he was going to be a transfer.
J.J. McCarthy, too, in Michigan.
Other than special teams, what position had the least number of transfers invited to the Combine?
Defensive line.
I will say linebacker.
It is linebacker. 17% of those there. So if you're a good linebacker, you're not moving around as much as a good quarterback. By the way, after quarterback at 79%, wide receiver was next. At 46% of the wide receivers invited to the Combine were at at least their second school of college football. Man, everybody on the move, it seems like these days. Those numbers are only going to go up. Daniel pointing out that Shanahan is only 44. They've got some decisions to make there. Brandon Ayuk on social media, his girlfriend on social media, his brother on social media. They're all acting like not enough targets in San Francisco in the Super Bowl, and that I think it was his girlfriend, the mother of his baby, that was said, Probably our last time leaving Levi Stadium. That we're probably going to be somewhere else.
Boy, he needs to put a muzzle on her.
Yeah, I don't need her talking for me.
We'll do trash when we come back on the other side. The show being brought to you today by our friends at Precision Sports. When's the last time you tweaked something, Brownie, on the golf course?
On the golf course? Well, I haven't played in a while, but it was probably last summer, Jimmy.
Last summer? When's the last time you tweaked anything working out, LT?
Oh, man, my shoulders have been bothering me all the time.
My right shoulder's been bothering me when I sleep. I try to go underneath the pillow sometimes, sleep on this shoulder. It's been a little jacked up a little bit lately, but luckily Precision Sports and Ortho fixed my lower back, hip, upper hamstring problem back a few weeks ago. That all got settled thanks to our friends at Precision Sports Ortho. You too, if you tweak something in your life, can get back in the game by calling this number, 205-512-3885. 512-3885, or go to that website, precisionsportsortho.com/2024 to get you to the details there. precisionsportsortho.com/2024. Orthopedic care is better together. Find your provider today. Again, 205-512-3885 or precisionsportsortho.com.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter @ScottForresterTV.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Hang out with The Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out The Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
For more than 40 years, Red Wing Shoes has been helping the hardworking people of Alabama. This is why Red Wing Shoes has created the 3-step comfort solution. Step 1, a certified fit specialist will use a 3D scan to electronically measure your feet and arches. Step 2, the fit specialist helps you get the appropriate footwear for your occupation. Step 3, customize your boot or shoe with a Red Wing orthotic. Whether you have a high arch or flat feet, Red Wing has comfort solutions for you. So experience comfort at its best. Visit one of the Red Wing shoe stores located in Pelham or Trussville.
Bandwagon wants to remind you that baseball and softball season is right around the corner, and their shelves are stocked with everything your kid needs. From grip tape to gloves to custom uniforms, Bandwagon has all the gear, big and small, for those ballpark days. Until February 3rd, you spend $100 on baseball or softball equipment, and Bandwagon will give you $20 off. Just tell them The Next Round sent you. Visit locations in Cahaba Heights, Homewood, and Trussville, or go online to bandwagonsports.com. Next Round listeners, it's time to jump on the bandwagon.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
By the way, to show you how crazy baseball is compared to football, can you imagine that whatever the football equivalent of a Cy Young winner being, whatever that is in football, still being unsigned as camp opened up? Baseball and pitchers have reported this week, and Blake Snell, who won the Cy Young, he's not just a former Cy Young award winner. He won it last year, right?
Yep, he did.
He's still out there. He's a free agent. And Cody Bellinger is still out there.
Oh, he had an incredible year with the Cubs.
Why are they unsigned? I thought all these big-time free agents were just waiting on the Shohei deal to go down, and then they were all going to fall into place.
I would imagine that Scott Boras is in on one or two of these, and he just plays it up until the 11th hour to get the maximum amount of money.
Well, when is arbitration? Or have we already passed that?
I mean, it's camp time. Pitchers and catchers have reported we're past arbitration.
Yeah,
Jorge Soler signed with the Giants yesterday. He comes in there because Reed told me this. They haven't had anybody hit over 30 home runs in a season since
Barry Bonds.
That's amazing. Does it seem like the baseball offseason
is the shortest?
Well, maybe not the shortest, but it moves the quickest. Because
why.
Well, you got football, you got Christmas, you got New Year's, you got the Super Bowl, the playoffs.
For us, it's football. I guarantee if you're a diehard baseball fan, you're like,
when's it going to get
man,
here?
Yeah, October to February, pitchers catchers is a long time.
But it seems like we get pitchers and catchers reporting quickly. Once the season's over.
Rump Shaker is coming back to Birmingham. They do it every year. And it's down. Is it Protective? Is it near Protective?
Close. Regents Field.
The other stadium in town.
Yeah.
Keep running. You'll be a
I had
Protective.
somebody
Shake that rump.
just reach out to me about Rump Shaker. Look, it's an incredible event, but very important here. Did you realize that colon cancer is second leading cause of cancer deaths in America and that it affects men and women equally? If you're 45 or older, Rump Shaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer, it's preventable, it's treatable, it's beatable, but early detection is key. For more information, visit them. RumpShakerInc.org. That's RumpShakerInc.org. And that 16th annual Rump Shaker 5K is coming up Saturday, March 23rd. To get registered for that, RumpShakerInc.org. I've actually run in that a couple of times. It's been a long time,
Yeah. I've
tried to give up running, though.
I think I've announced the start before a couple of times. Gentlemen and ladies, start your... No, that's different.
Shake that rump.
Shake that rump. Before we get to trash here... autonomous, is that the word I'm looking for a driverless car? Is that an autonomous?
Yeah.
Okay.
Autonomous, yes.
Yeah.
Autonomous.
I mean, if you don't think Auburn has a team for everything, here's the Autonomous Tiger Racing Team working at the Las Vegas Super Speedway. They won this event. They got their driverless car up to 161 miles per hour.
So it's basically a big remote control car?
Yeah, I guess. It's like the kind you used to have on the small racetracks at Christmas under the tree.
Yeah.
It's not a slot car, but you still have to control it. But
I used to play with those.
Autonomous.
Think about it, man. You could you get a criminal with this driving a brick and mortar, wipes it out. Everybody's looking for who's behind the wheel.
Then there's your documentary of the day. Can't wait to get that Netflix.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
What's the worst thing that could happen here?
I mean, I just can't believe it. I just say, man, if that hits somebody going 160 miles per hour,
running into a brick and mortar.
I'm telling you, one of the best follows on Twitter is F around and find out.
Yeah, you love that. Don't you?
Man, this dude at the Kentucky Derby got his eye clawed out this year. Did you guys see that?
I was unaware that happened.
I just saw it yesterday for the first time.
Angry female?
No, it was. So it cuts to it. He had apparently gotten in a fight, was on the ground with somebody. And then he's there with one eye. His eye's like missing, and he's all dressed up. It's so awkward. But then somebody pops him in the eye that's gone. Yeah.
Wow. That was a bad day for him.
Yeah, it was a bad day.
Boy, they don't cover everything on nightly news, do they?
They do. I did not see
I'm
that.
surprised they don't. I mean, it's all negative. You might as well go for the big hitters like somebody missing an eye at the Derby. It's better than a house fire.
Hey, and by the way, Scott Cochran, remember that name?
I do remember that name.
Yeah, he helped Alabama early on in strength and conditioning over there. Went to Georgia to eventually become an on-the-field coach. He is leaving the Georgia program. Brownie, you were mentioning this earlier.
Yeah, I mean, word leaked out today from the site that covers Georgia for 24/7 Sports. It has been confirmed by them that Scott Cochran is no longer part of the Georgia program. Remember, he was kind of an on-the-field
special teams
analyst, but he did a lot of special teams and defense. He left for personal reasons. That's when they brought in Will Muschamp for basically that same role, and now Cochran is no longer part of the team. This is a guy that was at the top of his trade at Alabama. I had never seen a reaction to an assistant leaving that was more out of whack than when Scott Cochran left.
When you're talking about a strength and conditioning coach, and I did hear, and you guys probably heard the same thing, that he was getting out over his skis a little bit, kind of demanding, I want an on-field position.
Yep, right. And he got that at Georgia.
And he got that, but a lot of people believed, not a lot, but some people believed internally that was maybe going to be the downfall of Scott Cochran. And I know there were other...
Well, he's had a very public battle. I mean, he's made it public himself with sobriety, and from all indications, he has been sober for a little while, so you wish him the very best in that, and hope he can land somewhere.
Yeah, and I just don't know... that's one of those unique personalities where he's always on edge. Like, I don't think that's something that he's got to build up to. I think he's always like that. And to be able to control that, that's coming with that. It's got to be anxiety. It's got to be a lot of different things.
And with the portal, though, you just wonder if that style of coaching continues to work moving forward, right?
Right.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And were we talking about it? Or anyway, I heard this, that when they made the transition and Cochran was that early on the Sabre Day, it was Corey Reamer.
Yeah.
When we did the Q&A at Odie's, and he was talking about Freddie Roach was like, how do you guys not punch him in the face?
Yeah.
Like, this act is tired.
Yeah.
And that was...
Freddie Roach was back coaching at Alabama.
That was at the start of the season.
Yeah, that was the first month they were around the guy.
They gave us one of our favorite quotes on show history, though, Brownie. What is it?
Where my job Steelers at?
Let's get to trash. Hit it, Rockstar.
I was in the bathroom taking a shave, and I heard a screeching. Saw that between a screech and a whistle. I said, what in the world is this? And I heard a boom.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
Are you a...
Zach says that's on the Effed Around and Found Out site you're talking about. Scott Cochran didn't want to recruit anybody unless Saban made him an on-the-field coach. He effed around and found out.
He did. I mean, that the thing that's funny about that is you'll get a guy that will poke an alligator, or somebody will try one of the Browns jumping from, said window to said delivery truck.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, it's got every scenario, and it is insane. And they all, by the way, end really badly with some deaths in there.
You don't make it on Effed Around and Find Out and stick the landing.
I mean, the worst is somebody jumping off a building onto a trampoline and their entire body just buckles, where you see their spine just completely snapping out.
What do you think was going to happen?
They blow out every ligament in their knees.
Are you a veteran looking for a VA loan? Mortgage Right has been advocating for veterans since their company began. As a veteran-owned, operated company committed to your well-being, they can help you find the best terms available, guide you through every step of the process. As a veteran-owned, operated company, they understand the difference between working with someone who gets it and someone who doesn't. They've made it their mission to simplify the VA loan process. Visit the location, Highway 280 in Birmingham. You can apply online, mortgageright.com/TNR. Call 205-815-9200. NMLS 2239, equal housing lender. Just when you thought Hollywood has run out of ideas.
Oh, no. New ideas?
Netflix, they're exploring a new drama. What happens when your daughter is turned into a chicken nugget?
Huh.
So the latest Korean
You gotta
show
ask yourself that every now and then.
from Netflix that might find itself achieving success is a series called Dat Gang Wang. I'm just going with that. It sees a father attempting to turn his daughter back into a human being after she was turned into a chicken nugget by a strange machine. Plot synopsis for the show is as follows. Chow Mina, the daughter of a company president, mistakes a new machine as a device which helps her with her fatigue. She's accidentally turned into a chicken nugget as her father, Cho San-man, and this intern, I'm not even going to try it. They had the intern has a crush on her. They try to turn her back into human. They discover unexpected secrets. I'm not going to watch that.
Tell you what, I wouldn't even read the description there, Rockstar.
He just did.
I know. Yeah. I wouldn't do it again.
Okay.
Not even sure. Yep.
Hey, there's a series coming up on Apple Plus, tracking down John Wilkes Booth. Have you seen this, Rockstar?
Yeah.
It looks pretty good.
It does. It looks. I mean, that was a rough few days for him.
Yeah, 7-part series.
Bad ending for old.
Yeah, but the good news is back then you could go on the lam and nobody knew who you were.
Oh yeah. He did it for a minute.
Well, he was the most famous face after that.
Yeah, but you pop a president now, you got zero shot.
Yeah, no, you're not getting. Yeah, you're not leaving the scene. 7-part series starts April. I think drops March 13th. I think I saw.
Now I am out on the Bill Belichick, Tom Brady Patriots, but I'm in on the John Wilkes Booth.
Yeah, I'll tell you the name of it, Lance. I'll let you know.
So I used to buy concert tickets when I was like in high school, early college, and try to flip them. And I got burned a lot of times. But do you think this would be a good investment if you could get this? Fewer than 200 Wilson Airless Gen 1 basketballs will exist in the world. Now, the first commercial version of Wilson's basketball that doesn't need to be inflated because it's already full of holes will cost $2,500.
Wait, does it need to be inflated because it's already full of holes?
Science, man. They know what they're doing.
Yeah. So the Airless basketball is going to be available on Friday. It's exclusively from Wilson's website, and they expect that all of these are going to be gone in seconds. Now, the Airless ball will come in those three colors: black, broken leather hue, and an undyed off-white.
God, you couldn't use the black one in Coleman Coliseum. You'd lose it on every pass from the dark corners.
I couldn't see it, Nate.
Would you guys, if you knew you could get one of these for $2,500, would you buy it in hopes of flipping it?
I would not.
I would not. I don't think there's going to be a market for them, Lance.
Yep. See, I wouldn't either, but I guarantee you as soon as we say this,
$33,000.
These are going to sell out within a second, and then you're going to be able to get it on or resell it on a bigger market for like $15,000, $20,000.
What's the name of them?
The Airless basketball, the Airless Gen 1 basketball.
This will be an update story. Rockstar will bring it back to us when one sells for $38,000.
Well, just let you know, that's just Gen 1.
Yeah. That's true.
Gen 1.
Well, you want to get the originals.
Yeah.
Okay, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has announced its 2024 nominees. The inductees will actually be announced in late April.
Is there a chance, though, I have a Facebook page at some point that says, thanks, Jim, for helping my dad do something with the Gen 1 basketballs?
Yeah, probably so.
It could.
All right, I'll tell you if these people deserve to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or not.
Beyonce was in the running.
Hey,
Did she get it?
I like her country. She did 2 country songs. Pretty good.
Yeah, I played you one of them. You didn't seem to like the other one.
The other one's okay.
Mary J. Blige.
Yes.
I would say that's a borderline.
I don't.
I'm going to need
know.
to hear the rest of the class first.
Mariah Carey, 1,000%.
Yeah, got to put her in there. Just over Christmas music.
1,000%.
Yep.
In. Dave Matthews, I would say in.
Yeah, not a big fan, but I think you got to put Dave Matthews in. I could never listen to another one of his songs
Are
and be fine.
you a big Mariah Carey fan?
Not particularly, but I appreciate her catalog.
No, to your point, I could not listen to any of these people so far ever again and be okay, but I think they've all contributed in different ways.
Foreigner,
yes.
a guilty pleasure. I think Foreigner's got to be in.
Favorite Foreigner song?
Want to know what love is?
Probably Head Games.
Sweet Child of Mine.
Wait, let him sing Head Games.
Head games. Head games.
Just like Lou Graham.
Head games.
Yeah, it's really hard on the head.
No, this next guy should
Cold
not
as
be
ice,
in.
right?
Yeah. I mean, they've got a ton of top 10 hits.
Foreigner's definitely. That's an easy one right there.
She's as cold as ice.
Sounds
willing to sacrifice our love.
I am going to disagree. I don't think this guy will get in. He doesn't deserve to be in. That's Peter Frampton.
Not a big fan.
He's an innovator of the talk box, man.
Yeah,
so
when I was a
annoying.
kid and I heard the guitar talk, I thought that was amazing until I saw how he did it, and then
he does it with his mouth, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of people can do that.
You also got to play too. It's not just doing.
Oh, he's a hell of a guitarist, but really he had 2 songs that kind of hit.
Yeah, I thought that was a real gimmicky.
Baby, I Love Your Way.
No, I mean that's a nice song, but I thought that was a gimmicky thing how he made the guitar talk. I mean,
Jane's Addiction doesn't need to be in.
Hard pass.
Cool in the Gang.
It's borderline.
It's borderline.
I'm gonna need to hear the rest of the class.
Wait. Jane's Addiction, Rockstar, do they deserve to be in?
Perry Farrell.
Jane's Addiction, no, not as a band, but
Perry Farrell
is
does.
an innovator doing Lollapalooza and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Jane's Addiction, no.
Okay, and who was the last one you just said?
Cool in the Gang.
Nah, I could do it without
This
that.
is borderline. Commodores, yes.
Oh,
Cool in the
Commodore's
Gang.
easy, yeah.
I don't know.
Celebrate
Fresh.
tonight.
Hey, Cool in the Gang had Ladies Night. I mean, they had a lot of hits.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's borderline to me. Lenny Kravitz, no.
Nope.
Oasis,
The better version of American Woman is Lenny Kravitz.
I like Guess Who.
I would disagree with you on Oasis.
No,
I'd put Oasis in.
Oasis needs to be in, but they'll be one of those ones that say like, I don't give a shit about this thing.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't get them all to show up together probably, but I'd put Oasis in.
I mean, how many? What did they have? 2 LPs?
Tyler.
Oasis?
Yeah.
They probably had 6.
They're back on tour, too.
Will you give Tyler his microphone? Because I don't like him screaming at us on a text with all capital letters from the back row. Tyler, please, your comment.
So it's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, correct?
Oh,
that is right. Yes,
that's a
Tyler.
broad brush. It's all music, all genres.
All right.
And Mariah Carey,
even
I mean,
still,
come on.
Mariah Carey
This
before
is-
Jane's Addiction and Lenny Kravitz?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Are you
Tyler.
guys insane?
And we're not trying to be hard here. We're just talking facts. Mariah Carey has more number ones than anyone.
Yeah.
But Oasis deserves it.
And Mariah Carey owns Christmas, Tyler. Christmas music is big.
Yeah, but Mariah Carey is the number one of all these that would
Taylor
go on.
Swift owns the Super Bowl.
Well, she'll be in.
Yeah,
this
she'll
thing.
be in.
No, don't you worry. The minute they need to sell tickets.
No,
she'll
I
be in
take that back. Ozzy Osbourne, I would put in front of Mariah Carey, really close. But
Ozzy's not in yet?
He's not in yet? Well, but Black Sabbath is
I'm
in,
sure
right?
Sabbath is in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crazy Train is not in yet?
Oh, Ozzy bigger solo career than Black Sabbath.
Yeah, no, I'd put Ozzy in by himself, yeah.
Sinead kind of does not deserve to be in.
One good song.
Oh, but
and she didn't even write it.
She will go in, though, because it's so quickly after her
No,
death.
I don't think so.
I don't know. No, because last year we had, 6 inductees?
Yeah.
And
she ain't
what,
getting
they
it.
got like 14 of these.
I think this is the bone they've thrown her because she passed.
Yeah, she had one song and she only did it because Prince didn't want to sing it.
Sade is on here.
I don't even know who Sade is.
Sade.
Who is Sade?
You'll
No.
know, like, if I
Hard
play your
pass.
song, you'd know who it is.
No, we don't need them in.
No Ordinary Love. Is that the one from
It's very
Indecent
R&B, kind of like
Indecent Proposal?
it's
I think that
R&B,
was it.
kind of like massage parlor
Yeah,
music.
I think that's
Yeah.
No Ordinary Love.
Massage parlor music. We're gonna put them in.
And then finally, a tribe called Quest.
No. This is a Hall of Fame.
Again, we reward mediocrity way too much in our country.
Tribe Called Quest will get in.
Probably.
At some point.
How is a Tribe Called Quest mediocrity?
I didn't say that. I'm talking about all of these nominees.
It's a Hall of Fame, Tyler.
Yes.
The Tribe Called Quest, you could have a Hall of Fame without them in there.
Yeah, your credibility is shot with the whole Mariah Carey thing.
Listen, I'm not going to ask you how you roll in your apartment, but do you, when you listen to music, do you stuff things under the door so smoke doesn't come outside into the hallways?
No, my neighbor does, though.
So we've got this guy performs AI on what celebrities would look like if they were a different gender.
Yeah, so this guy does AI. He likes to make people busty, just to give you a fair warning.
Okay.
I'm going to
Boobs?
pull
Okay.
up the AI and you can try to guess.
So
who the
this
actor
is all dudes that would look like
Oh,
females.
some are female. I think
So
there's
some
one
are females becoming dudes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me open it.
All
before
right.
you
So
look at
Reister's going to open it. We got to guess who they are. All right. Don't look at the thing. All
Okay.
right. That is Adam Sandler with big boobs.
Oh, wait, these are guys?
And I know you had to have looked because that looks nothing like Adam Sandler. If it is Adam Sandler.
That is
If
Adam
they swap
Sandler.
genders, this guy did AI. Like if Adam Sandler was a female, what would she look like?
No, I could see Adam Sandler.
Looks
It's
nothing
either
like Adam
David
Sandler.
Schwimmer or Adam Sandler. One
David
of the two.
Schwimmer's good. It is Adam Sandler.
Okay. That is.
Bringing Sexy Back. That is Justin Timberlake.
No,
That is correct. No, it's not.
that
Not even
is based on eyes. Alec Baldwin.
That is Alec Baldwin.
Wow. Well done, Lance.
By the way, this AI is better with boobs than it is faces. These are fantastic.
Yeah, what is
We're
up
making
with
men
that?
and women look okay.
These are fantastic.
Is that a normal day in Congress?
Yeah. Who is that?
Oh, that is.
Usually got to go eye nose. Cleavage. Eye
Look
nose.
away from the
cleavage.
hair.
Damian Lewis from Homeland.
Oh, wow.
That is Eminem.
Okay. Never would have guessed him.
He's dead, right? Is that Jeff Daniels? No, Larry David.
It's Larry David.
Larry David. Hey, have you watched the second one?
I said watch the first
So
one.
it looks like
Lance is better at this than he is anything.
it looks like it's going to the entire season is going to take place in Atlanta. At least it looks like that. Yeah.
Larry David,
And
by the way, if he doesn't get some support soon, they're going to think he's nuts.
guess who had a big role in the second episode? Our man John Reap.
Oh,
good.
wow.
Did he?
Yeah.
Hemi?
Sykes back.
Is there a Hemi in
I
that?
got that Hemi engine.
Did he
Pretty
ever
funny
tell the
stuff.
story about how he got discovered?
No.
That's LeBron?
No.
That is LeBron.
It's got to be
Is it?
LeBron.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, why is
Because
it-
he's in a basketball
Yeah,
court.
but why did he change numbers? Just because he became a woman? God, LeBron is good.
He's stacked.
LeBron is not an A cup in the NBA. In the
My
WNBA.
God.
Hey,
Yeah.
by the way, WNBA for LeBron and B's not for basketball.
That is
Don Johnson.
No. Close.
That is somebody in real life, though.
Well, I don't know.
That lady was on a Law and Order recently. She did it too.
Is it Kevin Costner?
That is Richard Gere.
Richard Gere. Okay.
I have a few more, but the final one is my favorite one.
Up where I belong.
All right. So this is
'Cause
a
it's
female.
Is that Ashton Kutcher?
No, that's Pat. That's the girl that.
This is a girl.
Yeah, this is the crying game girl.
No, well, you can't put stubble on a chick. That really throws you off.
Yeah. They put boobs on men, so I think we're good.
Very large ones.
Yeah. Well, this guy is not in shape, is he?
God, Who is it? Anything for those pecs.
We mentioned her a couple of times a day on the show.
Taylor Swift?
That's Taylor Swift.
T-Swizzle?
Right. That is bullshit.
Yeah, I don't think
Stop
it right
now
there.
I am done.
Yeah.
Well, if Taylor Swift, I mean, you talking about somebody that would never get noticed at a grocery store if she wasn't Taylor Swift.
That is correct. I'm going to guess that's Tiger Woods. Yeah.
Damn, first guess.
Well, I mean,
I think we're close to the final one.
Tiger's got a big old ass.
Hey, by the way,
all of a sudden we went away from boobs with Tiger.
By the way, Tiger would be into female Tiger.
Tiger would be into any of those females.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Mark Zuckerberg.
It is, but it also looks like the chick on The Last of Us, the little girl.
Yeah, it does. It does look like her a little bit. It also looks a little bit
Charles
like
Barkley.
That's the last one.
Charles Barkley.
Oh no,
That's Charles.
He is an ugly ass woman.
You got to send that to him. You got to send it to him, Charles. The round mound of rebound.
So good.
That is trash today, bro.
Big ass, big tits, everything.
Charles would never wear those earrings. Tell us about our friends at Mortgage Right.
Buying a home, major milestone in life, getting it right comes down to the right advice at the right time. That's why we're proud to partner with our friends from Mortgage Right who do mortgages the right way. 205-815-9200. You can apply online, mortgageright.com/TNR.
Well done, Stephen. He would be from San Antonio if he was a woman.
Right.
Yeah, well played, all those. Hey, Odie's tonight. Anything happening with you guys tonight?
A little Wednesday night, Rocky. Odie's
trivia.
team trivia. We've done
2,000.
2,172.
No, a lot. But we've done Halloween's there. I think this is our first Valentine's, I think. I can't really remember.
Yeah, we're switching, doing gifts and everything, so I didn't go over the $500 budget. So I just scraped by.
We will be out there, though. Somebody texted me earlier, what time does it start? It's supposed to start at 8. We start a little after 8, but get there early, enjoy some of the great food from Rodney Davis, award-winning wings, delicious burgers, great sandwiches and salads. They've got grilled cheese. They've got a really good tomato bisque, chili, just fantastic food. Ice cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light. 2 locations. The one we'll be at tonight in Crestline, and the newest location in Homewood. It's Odie's Tavern.
All right, so a chance there to enjoy trivia, maybe watch a little Auburn basketball at the same time at Odie's tonight. One more segment to go when we come back, Rocky, right here on TNR.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Are you ready for a winning season in your finances? Legacy Credit Union is bringing you a slam dunk deal on their credit cards. Apply for their balance transfer and pay 0 balance transfer fees. That's right, there is no balance transfer fees, and they're offering a jaw-dropping 2.99% APR for the first 6 months. Whether you're looking to clear the cord of those holiday expenses or just wanting to streamline your finances, apply online today, legacycreditunion.com. Annual percentage rate, terms and conditions may apply. See Credit Union for details. Federally insured by the NCAA. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
You want to look great while supporting your favorite show? You know the place to go is the official Next Round store at nextround.store. Yes, there are .store domains, and we have one. From shirts to hoodies to hats and all kinds of fun stuff, you can rep the Next Round anywhere you go. At the beach, Next Round hats to block out that sun. Up north in the winter, get you a comfy Next Round hoodie. Just need something to put your $20 beer in at a game? Get you a Next Round koozie and throw that thing in your pocket. You never know what stuff Jim's going to make me put in there next. Check it out. It's the Next Round store at nextround.store.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets
Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
The Double Down Media podcast family is live and full of content for all ages. The Mystery Fifth Hour gives the Next Round host a chance to talk about everything but sports. Pour a glass of Bama and bourbon, our weekly college football conversation while sipping some of the most interesting pours in the bourbon world. And our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call. LT takes off the gloves for an in-depth conversation with stars like Taylor Hicks, presented by Redmond Vodka. Find those podcasts and more by searching The Next Round on Apple, Spotify, and on our website, nextroundlive.com.
All right, final thoughts here, final segment. 9 a.m. Central Time. We're back with you tomorrow. 119 in Alabaster is where you find Champy's Chicken. They bring you this hour, champyschicken.com. They brine the chicken overnight. That's what Sterling does. And then they cook it to order the next day, piping hot when it comes out. Just delicious all the way to the bone. Juicy Southern fried chicken. Great sides, Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, and hand-cut chicken fingers. Perfect to watch the games in the weekend or to take to parties. It's champyschicken.com. Great for date night as well.
Real quick, Chris Holtman has been fired at Ohio State today.
Oh, no.
And Jeff Goodman gives you two names to watch at Ohio State. Jeff covers college basketball for the Field of 68.
I would say get ready for this to be frequent with every major job opening this year. Nate Oates.
Two names to watch.
I was going to go Chris Beard.
Sean Miller and Lamont Paris.
Oh, wow. No Nate Oates,
From Jeff
no
Goodman.
Chris Beard.
He does say, while guys like Mick Cronin, Nate Oates, and TJ Otzelberger have hefty buyouts, Miller's is manageable. So he does mention Nate Oates and a group of guys that they've got hefty buyouts. But Sean Miller, Lamont Paris, the two names Jeff says watch for at Ohio State.
Yeah, we forget how good Sean Miller was before the NCAA got involved. He was known as the best active coach for a minute that had yet to been to a Final Four. Lamont Paris, incredible year. But I would have to have a little bit more from Lamont Paris.
I mean, that seems like a quick hire for a place like Ohio State, right?
I mean, 11 wins last year. I know it was year one in Columbia. He's done an incredible job this year. But Ohio State, they want to recapture what Thad Matta was able to do early on in Columbus. To me, Chris Beard, I don't know if he would leave because there probably is some loyalty for Ole Miss giving him that opportunity. But Beard would be my number one target. Okay. Anyone.
Just for context, okay? Nate Oates, if you hired him before March 14th, but nobody would because you're in the middle of the tournament, the buyout is $12 million.
Right.
Next year or after March 14th, so March 15th until next March 14th, it is down to $10 million. So basically, if you hired him after this season, it's a $10 million buyout to hire him, and then you're going to have to pay him probably close to $10 million to hire him. Now, that's a lot of money. But if you are a program like Ohio State,
like Scott says, Michigan's about to come open. It's just a matter of time on Michigan.
And he's got Michigan roots.
Yeah.
Eventually Michigan State will come open. But Big Ten money, Big Ten and SEC money, $10 million paying somebody to buy him out of a contract is not that much money relative. It's a big basketball buyout, yes, but in football and crazy monopoly money time, it's not that big of a buyout.
Like that's not an obstacle for me if I'm Ohio State. And I'll say this, if I was Nate Oates or Lamont Pierce or any of these guys, if it was Michigan, Michigan State, Ohio State, I'd rather have the Ohio State job. Like, I understand that Michigan and Michigan State have won national championships, but Ohio State hasn't won one since 1960. So, if you're able to go in there and win a national championship, and you got the same resources or more than the others have. So I would, Ohio State is one of those, it's almost like the Florida football job before Spurrier took over.
They're a rich alumni base, and they obviously just raised that extra money for the football NIL. I think they will do anything to win now that you can spend money moving forward. But I bring this up with Nate Oates because, if a Louisville or Kentucky comes open, for those people when it comes to basketball, $10 million is not that big of a deal for those people. I mean, we're talking horse money and fast food money.
Would you rather have Louisville or Ohio State? Like Louisville's got the great arena.
Louisville.
They've got the history.
Louisville.
I'd rather have Louisville.
Yeah, I'd take Louisville.
I don't know. Because Ohio State, you don't have to worry about in-state with Kentucky. You're always going to be second to Kentucky in that state.
Yeah, we talk about this more.
That is true.
We talk about this more in football than we do in basketball, but the strength of the Big Ten moving forward versus that ACC TV contract does make me tap the brakes a bit on Louisville.
Hey, it's a pretty down year in the ACC. Go back to Lunardi. How many teams does he project? I'm going to say tops out at 4.
I think at 3.
Give me 2 seconds. I'll pull it up.
I think it's 4. I think it's North Carolina. I think it's Duke.
Clemson is trending that way.
Virginia and Clemson.
Yeah, it's probably 4.
Wake's on the bubble, in my opinion.
He's got 4 ACC teams.
Okay.
I don't have his whole field, so don't ask me the 4.
So I know it's North Carolina, Duke, Virginia, and then
I think Clemson's in.
I would think it was Clemson.
Yeah, Clemson's in. Clemson won in Tuscaloosa.
Well, I'll tell you, his last 4 in are TCU, Ole Miss, Utah, Nevada. First 4 out. I don't see a whole lot. Wake Forest is in his first 4 out.
Okay.
So there's your answer.
Bubble.
Look for potentially, I'll just say it this way, potentially over the next couple weeks, and I don't know if I told you guys this off the air or not, but remind me to at the end of the show in a minute and a half. I should remember. Look for potentially some movement on an Alabama basketball arena.
Came from the quarterback club this week. Tip-off club, did it not?
Did Nate Oates say it? I didn't see him. I didn't see that he said it. But
I had friends that were there that he referenced.
Maybe a unique way of doing it where Alabama doesn't have to foot the whole bill on it.
Yeah. I've always thought it should be like
there are other places that do this.
The city of Tuscaloosa, the one in Austin was done this way.
Yep.
It was shot down. It was shot down to share it with Tuscaloosa. It was shot down. The thought of that initially because Alabama didn't feel like they needed to be blacking out 62 dates on somebody else's arena.
Yeah, I think it'll be more dates than that, but I also think financially it's going to make a whole lot of sense for the city of Tuscaloosa and Alabama.
Yeah.
So that could change a lot of things with Nate Oates.
Yeah. By the way, he'll probably get another contract extension, as you guys are saying, and another raise to stay at Alabama.
If he wins the conference again,
yeah,
I'm sure there's a significant bonus in there for winning the conference.
It's never been as good consistently since Wimp as it is right now over in Tuscaloosa. But I'd be okay in your arena and share it with Tuscaloosa. If you're the city of Tuscaloosa, why would you not do it? You can start hosting concerts there when Alabama's not playing basketball there. You can actually get a hockey rink in there and actually get Alabama hockey on campus. A lot of things you can do in that arena. All right, that's the show, 9 a.m. Central Time. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.